Hello, hello, hello. All right. Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm your host, Mr. Dax. Going to have a great episode today. Very powerful woman, beautiful woman, smart, intelligent, dedicated woman. Created a show called Girls. Love girls.
I'm here too.
Monica, are you here?
I'm here.
You're one of the girls I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I'm gonna break out because I want to be sincere about Lena.
Okay, so you did it. Good job.
So I've done it. Okay, not to my liking, but I did it. Now, then let me get into the second thing I wanted to get into.
Okay.
Which was Happy Halloween, because now we're 48 hours away.
Could you have done him doing that?
Halloween. Oh, let's say Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Trick or treat, smell my feet. Trick or treat, smell my feet. Give me something good to eat.
That's
I like
good.
Snickers bars, Twix bars. I like a nougat. I like a baby grand. A baby grand. What is it, Monica?
100 grand?
100 grand.
Yep.
I love 100 grand. Also like
Baby Ruth.
Also like tequila. Love tequila.
Sure.
And trick or treat. Smell these feet.
It's nice to have you here.
Give me something that's tasty to eat.
Oh, there it is.
Poor Lena. She deserves a better intro than me having to do a character and then do a Halloween greeting. She's like third billing to.
You know what? She has an hour. She has a long time to be on this episode. Matthew can be on for a few minutes.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Dax. So Lena Dunham is here today, we felt like a very big get.
Big time, yeah.
Didn't we? We were elated when she said yes.
Yeah.
She was so fun in person, boy. We could almost not even get into the studio because we started chatting outside when she arrived in the driveway, and that could have turned into its own 3-hour conversation.
So personable.
Very personable, very smart, very funny. She's fantastic. You know, she created and starred and directed Girls on HBO. She has a new show. Her new show, Camping, is out.
Yes.
And it stars Mr. McConaughey.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's me and Lena, and we're traveling around the
This is the part that you probably wouldn't want to happen, yeah.
Who wouldn't want me?
False information.
Who wouldn't want me to star in their show, Camping?
Well, that's true. He'd be great for it.
That's why I'm in it.
Oh my God.
Because it's a great show, and I
can't
wanted to
even
star
look
in
at
it. Well, that's because I'm in the show Camping alongside Lena Dunham
It's hard for me to look at you.
and Mr. Dax.
It's been going on for a long time.
I know, because I got to put my tongue in a weird spot. Is that what it is? Can you describe what physically is happening? That's so disturbing. You had to put your finger on it. Put your finger on it. Trick or treat. Put your finger on it.
I think part of it has to do with your eye contact.
Oh, yeah.
It's really intense, severe.
Now I'm going to gaze out the window.
What is this intro?
I don't know. I'm sorry. That's all right. Lena Dunham. Okay. Lena Dunham. We love her. She delivered. Please enjoy Lena Dunham.
We get support from Quince.
Have you been wearing the Quince linen shirts?
Yeah, I've been wearing them a suspicious amount. Yeah, European linen ones, they're $34, which is genuinely insane for how nice they are.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, here's the deal. They work directly with the factories, cut out all the middlemen, so you're paying for the actual quality and not some brand's marketing budget. Everything's 50 to 80% less than comparable stuff. I love it because it's all very classic and traditional, and I know I'm going to be able to keep it for a very long time, and the quality's off the charts.
That's true. The style is very consistent. Whatever you get there, you walk down the street, you're going to look good. They have these lightweight cotton sweaters, which I love for when it cools down at night. It's nice drape around your shoulders in the summer and then throw it on when it gets a little cool. And it's not just clothes. They do home stuff, ding, 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 travel stuff, everyday essentials. It's all the same model, quality without the markup.
Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/Dax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dax. This episode is supported by Helix. All right, let's talk about something we both really care deeply about, sleep.
It's the most important thing. I've had my Helix mattress for years now, and I genuinely think it's one of the best investments you can make for your home. Mine still feels just like it did when I first got it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not one of those mattresses that caves in after 6 months. These things are built to last. And, I'm a side sleeper. I ordered a side sleeper and I get hot, so I have cooling. And I can't tell you how much more comfortable it is to be in there not sweating and tossing and turning.
Cooling is really important. I've read that you're supposed to sleep a little bit cold. So I also have cooling. And they have over 20 models, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You just go take their quiz and they match you to what actually works for your body.
Plus, they've got cooling upgrades, which heading into summer, non-negotiable.
Truly.
Go to helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. That's helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/armchair.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy looking at you. I'm so happy in this space. I love your doorless bathroom.
Now, I don't believe we've met in real life.
I've seen you at events, but we've never engaged.
We've never engaged. And as I see, you know how this happens? We both meet famous people.
Yep.
And generally, they fall into one of two categories where they're more attractive in real life or they're less attractive in real life.
Yep.
And looking at your face, I'm overwhelmed with how cute it is. Not that I didn't think your on-screen presence wasn't, but I'm really enjoying this real life version of you.
That means so much because, firstly, I pulled up and I was like, oh, when you came out in your overalls, I was like, this is down to his Ducati motorcycle. I was like, this is a gentleman with an enormous amount of swagger. We knew you were a handsome sculpted blonde, but that means a lot to me actually because even though I don't think a ton about the looks thing, like I've been going through a bit of a phase where I've been feeling a little down on myself. I texted my best friend Scotty the other night and told her that I couldn't leave the house because I said I look like a piece of dough.
Okay, sure.
And she had a great answer. She was like, you know what? Well, she's very pregnant. So she's a better excuse to feel like a piece of dough. But she was like, I'm a piece of dough right now, and I'm going to be a piece of dough next week. But probably I've been not a piece of dough before, and I won't be one in 2 years. But right now, I'm just kind of owning it. And so, and then she said, so let that dough bake in the sun.
What a nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because you know what's tricky is it's tempting. Many things can be happening simultaneously. So you can be embracing who you are, right? And learning to love that person. And that's healthy and wonderful. And we should all aspire to do that. And then yet you're also just an animal. You're a human being and you want to look your best, whatever the zone of that is that you've come to like accept about yourself. You kind of want to be hitting the top of that zone, or at least I do.
Of course.
Yeah. Especially in, our line of work, you cannot help but think about your looks.
No, and you can't help but think about it. And you also can't help but think like, I have this thought sometimes where I'm like, okay, so I came into this job being, I'm not the archetypal like actress lady, but people have accepted that I look a certain way. But then I'm like, if I go even more that way, like as you get older, sometimes you gain 5 or 7 or 10 pounds, or your metabolism changes, or you go on steroids for a little bit, or whatever happens. Yeah. Not for muscle building, for inflammation. I don't take the muscle building kind.
Nor do I, but I want to so bad. And it has occurred to me, my fantasy was always, well, maybe I'll end up in one of those superhero movies and I'll have an excuse to do it for like 6 months as an experiment.
And just see how it feels.
Yes, to like walk around as a big lug, like just to experience that feeling.
Are you interested in also like the fact that when you took steroids, you'd be like speedy out of your mind and convinced you were God?
Well, that is the part that is potentially, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because I have had friends who have done steroids, and there's many different kinds. And some of them don't give you that. And then some of them, yes. I've had friends that's like, you couldn't do this. I feel like I've done one line of Coke all day long.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's a deal breaker for me.
Yes, it would be a deal breaker for me too. But but when I take the steroids for inflammation, because I have an autoimmune illness, so sometimes
me too.
You do?
Yes.
Which one do you have?
Psoriatic arthritis.
My God, I'm so sorry.
Try not to get too horny. I know it's a very sexy disease, psoriatic arthritis.
Well, I don't want to flip you out, but I have a combination of undifferentiated mixed connective tissue disorder.
Oh my goodness.
And Ehlers-Danlos syndrome,
What's
which
that?
is a side of endometriosis. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a hard to diagnose and fairly rare genetic mutation, a few different varieties of it. Shout out to Dr. Howard Levy at Johns Hopkins, who helped me find out about this. It basically means you don't have like enough collagen in your connective tissue.
Okay.
And so that's the version I have. I don't have the vascular version. And so it means like some of the symptoms would be like increased flexibility, but also like increased flexibility and mobility, but decreased strength and joint pain. And there's also other weird stuff like sensitivity to cold and heat.
And are you inordinately flexible?
I'm going to show you something, and you'll tell the viewers at home.
Okay.
Does this impress you?
Oh,
wow.
my goodness. So what Lena has done is basically folded up her thumb like a wallet and put it behind her hand, on the top of her hand, not on the palm side. I can't even. Okay. So my arthritis target's there.
Yeah.
Can't even get it behind that finger there. That's maxed out.
What do you do? How long have you had it, and what do you do to take care of it?
So what's interesting is I've had it for going on 9 years, but for 4 or 5 of those years, I had no idea it was that. I just thought, my feet are swelled up. That must be motorcycle injury related. And then I was like, I need knee surgery. All these things were happening that felt like injuries, I guess. And also the inflammation from arthritis will settle in injuries, previous injuries. So I go, this makes sense. This knee hurts. I got whatever. And then I had a dermatologist who knew I was kept going to all these different joint doctors. And he said, I think you might have psoriatic arthritis. Went to a rheumatologist. He looked at me for 5 seconds, looked at my fingernails. He's like, you have it. I'll run tests, but I can tell you right now you have it. And then I started a different course of treatment. But I'm curious if you think like I do in that I think we're all allergic, and this is kind of a lefty thing too.
Yeah.
But I think in general, we eat so many different kinds of foods and that we're all allergic to different foods we don't know we're allergic to.
100%.
And the symptom can be psoriatic arthritis. It can be your condition. It can be all these different autoimmune conditions.
I really believe that there is a reason I carry around guilt and shame is because, yes, I'm sick. I also have really serious endometriosis. I had to get a hysterectomy last year. Like I've been through the ringer health-wise.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm sick. That's, a thing that just happens to some bodies and doesn't happen to others. But I am convinced that if I were to be just like a slightly more, if I were to be a person with slightly more like willpower and force of energy, that like I would feel maybe like 47% better. And so every time I crawl into bed, I have like a haze, a blanket of guilt.
Sure.
Wraps me.
Me too. And just in general, are you prone to guilt? I'm like, I can't.
My whole life.
It's my tastiest addiction is feeling shitty about myself.
I feel shitty about myself. I literally, the only time I feel relief in life is when I get, for the 3 seconds after I get a text from someone that's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. And it's like that feeling of someone being like, or like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. Or please, thank you so much for checking in, but it's not an issue.
Yes.
Like,
and does this condition lead to you creating elaborate theories on why people are upset at you or?
Yes, but yes, 100%. But what's sort of become complicated in my life is that I was always incredibly guilty and obsessed with the idea that different people had issues with me and didn't like me. But now that I'm a public person, lots of people I don't know have issues with me and don't like me.
Yeah.
And some of it for things that I totally knew would be provocative and strange. So now I have to deal with the duality and also the part of it that is like a total self-fulfilling prophecy and created by me. And that's information none of us really wants about ourselves.
Yes.
I would say.
But do you think at all, like there are many times where I think like, oh, this job of mine has been this crazy blessing. It's almost like immersion therapy, right? Where if like you're a germaphobe, they make you jump in a dumpster or whatever.
Yep.
So I have a lot of codependency things. And this job
too.
has forced me, you can't have this job and not learn to set boundaries or you'll die.
100%. When you realize no one else actually cares what happens to you. Girl on set just told me a story. She was like 22 and we were barefoot on set and it was getting hot. And she said, well, the last movie I was on, I was barefoot and it was in a really dirty, dangerous place. So they just coated the bottoms of my feet with super glue.
Okay,
And
wow.
I was like, what? They did what? And I realized, I was like, if you don't say no, someone's
Yeah.
going to coat the fucking bottoms of your feet with super glue.
Absolutely. And then also then in public, so the way I had to confront this whole thing was like, if I'm with my kids and I'm at the airport, I'm not very friendly. I don't want to interact with people because that's their time. And I feel bad that, they have to share me with other people, whatever. So in general, I'm pretty direct if we're out as a family, just like, hey, this is our time. I'm nice to meet you, but I got to keep it moving. And many times people walk away and they're like, that guy's a fucking asshole. And I've had to just get comfortable with the notion that, you know what? There are going to be a lot of people on this planet that think you're an asshole.
Yeah.
But I have to prioritize my family, my friends. And I also have to remind myself in those moments where I feel shitty, do any of my friends think I'm a fucking asshole? Is anyone that really knows me think I'm a fucking asshole? And I don't think so. So, but that's
Everyone
required.
I know who knows you, I've been hearing about you for years. Like, back when 72% of people said no to Dax Shepard, we had a friend in common,
Leslie Arfin.
Leslie Arfin.
Yes.
She's the greatest.
Yeah.
And so she would talk about you and like, I couldn't believe that there was a famous person who was so nice. And it's like, she'd always be like, oh yeah, I was stressed. So I called Dax. And I was like, you called Dax? Like, I didn't think that. I figured you were like on a yacht somewhere with like Giselle Bundchen sitting on your face. Like, I just
God.
didn't know.
I sure wish I had had that experience prior to shutting it all down 11 years ago. I feel like that could get me through some lonely nights.
And I thought it was really cool. I don't think any of your friends think you're an asshole. Maybe one, but I haven't met them.
Sure. Go ahead,
Depends
Monica.
on the day.
Yeah, sometimes Monica thinks I'm an asshole, but she comes back pretty quickly.
I'm around a lot. I see a lot of sides.
That's true.
We're all assholes.
all the facets. Yeah, no, that's also true.
Yeah.
Back to Leslie really quick. Do you know how we met? Do you know that story?
Was it at the Maritime Hotel?
It was.
Can you detail it for me, though?
Yes, it's one of my favorite ways to have met someone. So I was there in New York shooting Baby Mama. So I was at that hotel for, I guess, 6 weeks.
You're really good in Baby Mama.
Thank you so much.
I hope that's work you're proud of.
Oh, 100%. You know what's great about that is like occasionally you do something for entirely the right reason, which was like, I just wanted to be around Tina and Amy being funny. That's it. I had zero aspirations for myself in that movie. I was just like, oh my God, I get to go watch those two do their thing. They're going to write me a check on Fridays.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I'm staying at the Maritime Hotel, and every morning I like to drink coffee. So I got to order coffee from room service, but there's no room service at the Maritime Hotel. You have to call the operator, and then the operator, I guess, relays the message to the kitchen. I had at this point talked to Leslie Arfin on the phone probably 42 times. And so
Every morning.
And I call up and I go, hey, so I would love the coffee. I go, by the way, I just want to add that I think this is complete horseshit that you have to write down my order and relay it. They should just let me give it to them so you don't have to deal with this. And she goes, oh, well, that's just the tip of the horseshit iceberg of what's going on down here. And I go, oh, what's going on down there? And she goes, well, first of all, I'm in a basement. You know, when you talk to me, I'm in a basement. And I'm like, oh my God, they've got you in a basement. So we start talking for probably 20 minutes. Like I'm just laying in bed talking with this gal. I find her super interesting. And all of a sudden,
funny.
She's so funny. She goes, hey, listen, I want to take my cigarette break. So I'm going to go out front. And I go, great, I'll meet you down there. So I get on my clothes. I meet her on the sidewalk. We talk for another 30 minutes. We discover we're both in a similar program, which is
a fellowship.
Immediately bonding. And then she goes, oh, I wrote this book. And I'm like, oh, wow, you've written a book. I want to read it. So she gets me a copy of Dear Diary. I read it so fast. I love it.
It's incredible.
I give it to Amy Poehler on set. I'm like, you'll love this book. Well, Poehler's Arfin's favorite.
Her favorite.
Yes, favorite. And then so Poehler reads it, loves it, writes her a little note. I then give it to Arfin. this develops us into this friendship where she ended up, coming out to LA and was taking manager meetings. And I kind of was, I like to think, somewhat of a mentor to her.
You were, because I remember she felt very guided. Didn't she even stay at your house at some point? Maybe on your couch for a night?
That's so possible. I helped her get a car.
Right.
Like, she didn't know how to get a car. I helped her get her car. I think
That's
she got her
so
car
nice.
impounded one night, and I had to drive her to go get her car or something crazy.
So nice.
There's something about her I just really was rooting for so much. And then you played a really huge role in her life. And let's talk about this, because this goes directly into Girls, which is, didn't you discover her first writing job was on Girls?
Yeah.
And didn't you discover her through Twitter?
Yeah. I thought she was so funny on Twitter. I thought she was so smart and interesting and weird, and like she'd give just like a really negative review to a snack food. Like it was just like the person where you're like, oh yeah, no, I want to be watching TV with this person immediatamente. And so when we were trying to come up with writers for the show, she and I had been DMing, as the kids say.
Sure.
And I asked her to meet me at Aroma Coffee on Houston Street. Why? We can't know. I really was obsessed for a summer. There was a summer where like my major vice was like eating these really insane cheese sandwiches at Aroma Coffee, like 8 or 9 in a day, and just sitting and watching people pass.
That sounds heavenly to me.
It kind of was great. Like I would feel pretty bad about myself at the end of the day, but while it was happening, I was like, I'm an adult. And part of being an adult is you can eat as many cheese sandwiches as you want in one 24-hour period. So Leslie kind of came to my office in Aroma and we chatted.
Your cheese sandwich clubhouse.
My cheese sandwich clubhouse. And we chatted, and I just loved her. And we've had some of the great experiences of life together. And something I love about our friendship is that she wrote on the first 2 seasons of the show. She went off to do other things. And my life, and I bet you can relate to this, as it got really big, lots of career opportunities, whatever, it also got really small. Like my personal life, as the world expanded,
yes,
I made my personal life really tiny. I was very scared, and I also didn't create a lot of space. My day was divided into like working or like lying with a pillow on my face. I didn't understand another mode. So looking back, I can recognize that probably a lot of people who were really important to my life, I forgot to include, and I forgot to check in on them. And so Leslie and I had a long period where, we would check in with each other, but we didn't really spend time together. And in that time, she got married. I was lucky enough to be at her wedding. And
so then I would have seen you there.
I saw you at her wedding.
That's right. Awesome
And
wedding.
The coolest wedding.
Rusty's speech.
I wept. By the way, are you guys
Oh, yeah. Check in with your therapist. I'll entertain the listeners.
I just want you guys to know that I'm just going to let Dr. John know what's going on.
Hi, I found free therapy on Armchair Expert, so
I don't have to do
I'm going to
this.
Take a pass today.
I'm gonna take a rainy.
Literally everyone in my life is like so sick. I've been working on this. Not to brag, I've been working on a Quentin Tarantino movie. But
Yeah, I wanted to know if we can. Yeah, if you're allowed to say that
we
you're
can
in
say it because there was a paparazzi picture of me showing Brad Pitt my underwear. So my mom was horrified.
Oh, she was. She wasn't happy for you.
My mom thinks I'm really funny, but she's in a private way. But she wishes that there was less. Like she wishes that I like kept it fun at Christmas, but that there was like a little less of like a public aspect to it. My mom's she's an artist, but she's like a nice Jewish girl from Long Island who thinks that like underwear should be kept to the person who's wearing them.
Does she think it's indulgent of you?
100%.
Yeah.
She would say a lot to me when I was growing up, like a lot of like, well, at least you think you're funny, like that kind of thing. Like my mom, or she'll say things every time she's been interviewed. She's like, I always thought Lena was actually, I just always thought she was trying all kinds of things and they didn't work. But if other people think she's funny, that's great.
Okay.
But
also what she can't, or maybe what she's not realizing is you're just doing your thing at the Christmas party, but there are just people around taking pictures of you. You're not asking for it to be public.
No, I do other things that are for sure asking for it to be public, but I did not know when I showed Brad Pitt my underpants that was going to...
Now, was that in a scene or just real life?
Real life.
Oh, that's great.
But it was that he asked what a Cupid doll was, and I happened to have one tattooed on my side, so I thought, I'm going to, I've got the illustration right here on my body.
You could spend the next 10 minutes describing it orally or just let his eyes
gaze upon my thigh.
Yeah.
And that's just...
I bet he enjoyed that.
You know what I want to believe is like, he probably doesn't have that many people just going like, sure, yeah, whatever. I'll show you my underwear. Like,
Yeah.
I figure there's not a lot of just like good
stock.
wide birth New England stock showing him their underwear. So like,
Well, this circles beautifully back.
Yes,
which is I think people underestimate how isolating success is, and it's so counterintuitive. But I have friends that are infinitely more successful than myself, and I've seen it. It just gets very isolating unless you got to really fight against it and have a game plan. It's not just going to naturally happen. So let's talk about just the experience of, I guess, maybe being an outsider looking in, feeling like you're an outcast and a misfit, and that being kind of your persona. You
Yeah,
like
and your
punk rock,
identity.
right?
yeah, I love punk rock.
And we like Leslie because she's punk rock, right?
Leslie's the definition of punk rock. Leslie is the most punk rock person I've ever met. Like,
Yeah.
And she's so punk rock that when she does something that's nerdy, she just like owns it and makes it. Like, I remember we drove around LA. We were both new to LA, and we used to just like drive around and get a hot dog and sing along to the Rent soundtrack.
Yeah.
Which, like, if I did it in high school, I'd want to shoot myself in the face.
Sure,
but
sure.
Leslie made it seem cool to do it.
Right.
Or like Leslie'd be like, yeah, wear your pajamas to this premiere. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
Right.
also what was cool about Leslie is she's doing all that and she's sober. Like, I like someone who's a lunatic.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel that way, which is like, it doesn't take drugs to make me a lunatic. Like,
right.
the only reason I ever took drugs was to be less of a lunatic.
But it's interesting when you have a little bit of an identity where you feel like I'm an outsider or a misfit or I'm punk rock or all these things, and then you get kind of accepted by the popular people. It can be a weird transition, right? You can kind of either A, feel fraudulent, or B, distrust the people who are now accepting you. There's like all these insecurities that arise, right?
All of it. And also, I used to have a feeling like, I don't think what I do is for everyone. Like, I don't think my story is for everyone. I don't think my experience is for everyone. So sometimes I'd be having these people express appreciation of what I did or like act as though they related to me. And I would have this thought, which is probably not very generous, where I'd be like, but you can't possibly get it, which means that we're having a false interaction, which means this entire thing is bullshit. And
Yeah.
like, then you turn into that like 8th grade kid who's like, I don't like Green Day anymore because everyone likes Green Day.
Yes.
But I felt that way about myself. Myself was Green Day.
In AA, we have this expression called we all suffer from terminal uniqueness.
It's one of my favorite expressions.
Yeah, we think we're so fucking unique. And
It's
we're
my favorite expression. My favorite thing that my mom does is like, I'll tell her something that my therapist told me and she'll love it. And then a week later, I'll figure out that she's using it 100% wrong to like support her own theories about herself. Like, I told her the expression terminal uniqueness. I think Leslie told it to me and I loved it. And I was like, dad suffers from a real case of terminal uniqueness. And then later she's like, I was thinking about it and I also suffer from terminal uniqueness. Just being so unique that your entire life, no one gets it.
She was not in on the joke there.
No. But she also once said to me, this is a favorite, my therapist is big into accountability. What's accountability? It means everyone has to be accountable to me.
This is
hero.
great. There's a couple little clues of just maybe some light narcissism is in the mix there. Just a little. No, we're not going to label her that, but just a couple of.
Here's what I'm going to say about my mom. She's like my hero, but like I think as she's gotten older, she would tell you this. She's going to be 69 tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And
Sexy
69.
Yeah.
But she looks good. And something about my mom is like, as she's gotten older, her capacity to like endure anyone else's bullshit, she's just a steamroller steaming through the world.
Yeah.
And she's just like, especially because she's a female artist and she like really duked it out in the 70s and 80s to do what she does.
Yes.
Now she's just kind of settled into like eccentric glamour puss with a jewel on her shoe, and it's like it really works for her.
Oh, that's great.
I'm
She's
really-
like earned the right to just kind of.
That's 100% the vibe. Can I just say that this is an incredibly soothing room, and that like my friend told me recently that if you attune to another person for 20 minutes, that it can have the same effect as like taking a downer, like your body, your nervous system, your CNS, your central nervous system just like taps into a new mode. And I really feel like I came in here a little jangled, looking at my week, not taking it moment by moment, but taking it day by day in a stressed out way. And you have just like landed the plane.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that. Now I want to go back to, so you directed a movie, Tiny Furniture, and that's what opened up the door for girls.
Yep.
And you start getting recognized and getting attention, and it's just very tricky to navigate.
Yeah, I was 25.
Oof.
I had just turned 25 when we started shooting the first season. I turned 26 exactly a month after Girls came out. But I was a young 26. I lived with my parents still. I'd never had a real boyfriend. Like, I got my first real boyfriend that year. Before that, I'd just sort of like dated people, but I'd never had like a true relationship, partnership.
Yeah.
I was extremely
And were you
attached.
suspicious of that person? Was that part of any of this?
I had aspects of maturity, but I was like pretty stunted, like fearful little person. When I finally met my long-term boyfriend, Jack, who's still a close friend of mine, we broke up last year.
Yeah.
And he's just like a fun ball of neuroses and talent and joy.
Yeah.
But he was in a similar moment. His band had like the #1 hit in America. So it was like that song We Are Young that you couldn't escape for an
Yeah.
entire summer and now never again. And so we were sort of like in a similar mode. And so we kind of just grabbed each other like
Yeah.
life raft style and went for it.
Yeah.
So I was really like I wasn't like a worldly 26 I was like a freaked out 26.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot. And you don't want to be the person who's like, boo-hoo, getting famous was so scary. But I had a lot of trauma that I hadn't worked through. I was a super stressed out. I had like a serious physical illness that hadn't been diagnosed yet. So I wasn't like exactly primed. It wasn't like she's got a good physical fitness regime. She gets great amounts of sleep and she's ready to go. Like it was like, this is a person who could be knocked over by the wind at any moment.
Sure. And I had this weird, and again, this is 1,000% projection.
Love
but
to hear.
Look, I'm trapped in my own experience, which is
Beautifully said.
I saw you on Girls, and I immediately had the same reaction I think many people had, which was like, I'm so into the fact that she's this confident, getting bare naked all the time. And it's so refreshing. And it's definitely, I've not seen it. Minimally, if it was only that, like, oh shit, it's rare that I see something new. So I'm already excited and titillated by the whole thing because I've not seen it. But then the projector in me, I had this kind of theory about it, and I'm just curious if it's at all true.
I'd love to hear.
Okay, so when I was in junior high and high school, and I felt like, well, fuck, I can't do the feathered hairstyle that everyone's doing, and I'm not pulling off the look with those jeans and that thing, I feel like I can't compete in that, and that's why punk rock appealed to me. So I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm having a mohawk. I can't do that hairstyle. I would love to, but I have cowlicks and I can't do the side part and all the stuff. So I feel so insecure trying to do this thing I don't seem to be succeeding at that I'm going to yell, fuck you. I'm taking myself out of this game. And this is my declaration that I don't care about your judgment. Of course I did a lot, but it was my way of going, fuck you. I'm not playing your game, so you can judge me all you want. But then ironically, those looks worked for me and the clothes I chose worked for me. And I think people around me saw it as like, oh, that kid's so brave. He's wearing size 52 pants and a 4X champion sweatshirt and he has dreadlocks. He's so confident. But weirdly, it was a reaction to going like, I don't feel like I can do the cookie cutter version, so I'm going to reject it. And I just wondered, was your thing just going like, I feel judged by you, so I'm going to outdo you?
100%. And my thing was always like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to hit the punchline before you can. You know, when we have those experiences in formative years of not being seen the way we want to be seen, like a big memory of mine is like, you know, in the summer before you start school, you're like, I'm remaking my identity this summer. And so I would think about my first day of school outfit every minute of every day. I would fantasize it. I would talk about to my therapist. My mom and I would game it out. She was great at doing that with me. My mom is like a real queen of like finding like I'd be like, listen, I can't go back to school without a Kate Spade bag. And she'd be like, well, we can't afford that, but I'm going to figure it out. And we're going to like, yeah. My mom was the person who like found a Tamagotchi somewhere in New York on the day that like no one could find a fucking Tamagotchi. She's just a queen. So I remember Clueless had just come out and I was obsessed with Clueless. And so my mom was like, what do you want? A
specific character?
Cher.
Okay.
Well, the whole thing.
The whole thing was so
attractive.
incredible. And I was a Ty, obviously, but I wanted to be a Cher.
Sure, we all wanted to be a Cher, and none of us were Cher.
And none of
You
us
guys
were
are 1 year apart, by the way. I'm just going to say that.
How old are you?
31.
Love, 32, killing it.
Yeah.
86, 87.
Love, thank you so much for, it's a specific, so we were in the same moment where Clueless happened. It was a huge deal. So my mom was like, we found a mini backpack. I got these Skechers that had a heel.
Oh, wow.
Knee socks, skirt,
You did
shirt, pigtails. And then I'm like, the first day of school, you know, you have your real backpack and then the mini backpack is a fashion thing. And I was like, I'm going back to school and everyone's going to fucking flip out. I'm suddenly going to be super popular because I'm going to. And then I got back to school. Literally, like, somehow no one had seen Clueless yet.
What?
And the first thing they did is they were like, we're not doing class this morning, like to like bond all the fourth graders. We're doing dodgeball. And so suddenly I'm like in dodgeball in my high-heeled sneakers and my mini backpack. And I just remember the feeling of like pinning myself to the wall as tight as you could possibly fucking go to avoid the ball. And just being like, this is hell. Life is hell.
That is so Ty.
It's so tight to
It
be
is
stuck
Ty.
against the wall in dodgeball. But like for me, that was a thing of trying and failing.
And your expectations versus the outcome. That's a big.
And those are my favorite kinds of characters to write, are people whose perception of themselves and the world's perception of themselves, there's like a crazy gap. Like those are, and those are the most fun characters to play.
Yeah. A gulf exists between the perceived self and the presenting self.
100%. It's a joy and a pleasure.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
We are supported by Auto Trader. All right, if you've been putting off car shopping because it sounds like a whole thing, buying your car online on Auto Trader makes it way easier, really. You can shop tons of cars online, compare prices, check financing and trade-in options, all from wherever you are. And if you want to start online and go to the dealership for a test drive, you can do that too, really. What I like is the flexibility. Start online, finish at the dealer, or the other way around. Your info stays with you, so you're not starting the process from scratch. Plus, you're working with local dealer listings, so you've got real people helping behind the scenes. And when you're ready, you can pick up your car or have it delivered. Really. Buy your car online on Auto Trader. Really. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi High Yield Checking and Savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi Checking and Savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi Checking and Savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply.
Confidence. It's listening to your gut. It's moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. For nearly 160 years, Pacific Life has helped people keep their promises, building confidence for generations. Whether you're confident in your financial future or just beginning to envision it, we're here to help. Ask a financial professional how. Pacific Life, the power of a promise. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York, Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
Now, I also think we had a similar experience as I understand it. My life completely changed permanently by meeting my best friend, Aaron Weekly.
Aaron was your higher power.
Aaron was my higher power, and I understand that you and Jemima had this. Did she change your life?
100%, because she thought I was cool. And I wasn't cool. And Jemima was cool. Jemima's one of those people who,
right?
It's shocking. Like, she has her own intense pain and challenges, as she would tell you and as she would tell the world. But like, she was just a person also, like, if she wore like a giant t-shirt from the Miami airport, suddenly everyone wanted a giant t-shirt from the Miami airport. Like, she didn't follow any trend or she never had a thing that looked like another person's thing. Like, she was so fucking cool. And when she got to, I knew who she was. We had met, and then she switched schools to my school. She was a 9th grader and I was an 8th grader. So it's like not that usual for a high schooler to talk to a middle schooler.
Oh, yeah.
And one day she was like sitting on the stairs and she was like, come here. And like, I remember the feeling of her like patting the stairs by her and me being like, I'm allowed to sit here? And then it was just like, it was on. And it took me time to realize that like she wasn't about to play a prank on me.
Right, like dump pig's blood over your head at the
100%.
homecoming dance.
But and the thing that's amazing about her is like, She literally remembers the name. Like, I remember everyone we went to high school with. I remember how they looked at me. I remember when I gamed the whole thing out. Jemima literally can't, like, if I say, we had the exact same school experience. If I say to her, like,
Becky Droves.
Yeah, she would never have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't remember a single fucking person from our high school. She doesn't remember people she made out with.
They probably had very little power over her. She somehow had this crazy compass, right?
She missed like 2 months of school a year. Like the most miserable days for me were the days that Jemima was just like in St. Bart's, like in like her life was so fucking. She once called me and was like, I remember my like landline rang and it was Jemima and she was like, if we're going to St. Bart's, if you can get a ticket 2 weeks, you're not gonna have to pay for anything. And I like went to my parents and I was like, something amazing happened. If we can get a ticket to St. Bart's, and my parents were like, you have school tomorrow. We're not buying you a fucking ticket to St. Bart's. Are you insane?
Yeah, what on earth business was a
14-year-old is allowed to buy a ticket to St. Bart's?
Go hang out with Russian oligarchs popping like
in the middle of February on a school day. But
Jemima went.
Yeah, Jemima was always somewhere. She was always like,
God, she's like a character in Clueless.
She was Cher.
She's a full Cher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like she's a Cher, she's Edie Sedgwick, she's all the things. Also, the weirdest detail about Jemima is she's always early.
Oh,
And she
counterintuitive.
I'm like an anxious, guilty, like fastidious person who's late to everything. And Jemima's like a person who like seems not to give a shit and has like never missed an appointment in her life.
Yeah.
So she's always surprised. She's always swerving. Is Aaron Weekly still your best friend?
Oh yeah. He's coming this weekend with his kid, and we're gonna party. Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Is he a punk?
Yeah, we were punks. He was one of the toughest kids in all of Detroit. Sweetest guy, nicest smile. Also could knock guys out who messed with us. I felt very safe. We both had very fucked up childhoods. Yeah. We didn't have males around us. We snuggled as kids. My mom thought we were gay for a while. Like we were each other's male presence.
Were you kind of Aaron Weekly and you kind of dadded each other up?
Big time. And
you reparented each other.
Yeah, and I won't ever love a human being in my life like I love Aaron Weekly. I mean, we're fused on a cellular level.
That's really nice.
So does Jemima give you a confidence that then you maybe build a whole house on? Is that the foundation, or am I overstating that?
No, it's pretty big. The Jemima thing's pretty big, and she's such a big part of like, she's a big part of everything I've ever done professionally, which is not an accident that I was like, you come with me. Like it made me feel like I could make a movie that she was there. It made me feel like I could make a show that she was there. It still makes me feel like I can do it. Like,
and she didn't necessarily want to act, correct? When you put her on Girls,
she was like, she tried to quit like 3 times. She tried to quit after the first season. She tried to quit after the second season. Finally, after the 4th season, she was like, I think I'm staying. And I was like, well, good, because you signed a contract for 6 years. Like,
that's convenient.
She just like didn't give a shit. And now she's like, now I really want to make more things with her in them. And I think we're figuring out what they are. But she's also a painter and she has 2 kids. She's someone who has like a very rich life. Like she'll go on some kick and she'll literally buy like 19 vintage baby shirts. She does not currently have a baby. But
right.
She'll buy like 19 vintage baby shirts with like Disney characters on them from the 40s.
She should be like a curator at a super fancy boutique.
And the shoes I'm wearing today, she had them at my house and I just thought they were so cool. And I said, can I have them? And she went, yeah, they were $5. And I'm like, they're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
They are beautiful.
And still every time, and a lot of times I'll say, can I have it about a thing? And it'll be really fancy. And she'll say, yeah.
Nice.
Like I'm looking for a diamond earring of hers that she lent me that I now can't locate.
Sure.
That
which is rude.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. But if someone lends you enough diamond earrings, you're just...
Yeah. Well, they'll stop eventually.
Yeah,
That's when you'll know if she's actually pissed, is you'll ask her to borrow something. She'll say, I can't do it anymore.
I can't do it. I'm done.
Yeah, this is an unhealthy relationship.
But our whole dynamic, like for years, she's been like, like a big thing was I was sick for a long time. So we'd make a plan because I'd really want to do it. And then I'd be like, I'm sick. And she'd be like, fine. And I'd know that meant she was mad. And then I'd call her and she'd just be like, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't want to make plans with you anymore. But then really what she wanted was for me to be like, I'm sorry, I love you. Or do you want to come over? I'd say, do you want to come over? And then she'd go, no, but like she wanted to be asked. Like,
Right.
I've leaned into more like what her language is. And now I don't
Yes.
fight it. I roll with it. And that feels better.
It is hard to know, especially when you're younger. You have all these definitions of what it means for you to love somebody. So I've had friends like this where they just kept failing me in my mind because they were doing the thing that if I did it, it would be a real loud declaration that I don't care about you. But then you got to remember, like, everyone's weird family values some other aspect. So mine values like loyalty and being there for each other. So if somebody, in my opinion, demonstrated a lack of loyalty, that was, you might as well tell me, fuck you, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
But in their family, it's probably something else. And I'm probably triggering those things. It's all very
100%.
confusing, right?
It is. And you have to realize, like, learning to show up for people the way they want you to. It's taken me a while to be like, oh, you learn more the longer you're on this planet. Like, you're not born knowing how to show up for everyone. And so your 20s, like my entire 20s, for lots of reasons, I felt like I was fucking up all the time. And I've been like, why are my 30s easier? And I'm like, oh, maybe I like know more things.
Sure.
And can avoid situations. I felt like my 20s were me constantly walking into situations and going, how did this suddenly become a disaster?
Right.
And I did a lot of, how is this happening to me? And now I think a lot more about, like, how am I happening to this?
Yes. Yes. What people don't seem to recognize, and again, AA is pretty good at pointing this out, that self-aggrandizement is equal in every way to self-pity.
Yep.
They're both egomaniacal, narcissistic places to think that either you're so important or that you're the victim of some grand universe conspiracy. You've made yourself way too important in both.
Well, I think
scenarios.
when people hear the term narcissist, they often think it means somebody who, like, has a really great, huge sense of themselves. But I think some of the biggest narcissists I know are some of the most self-hating, depressed, tragic figures, because they have a sense that, like, all of the universe's wrongs are in reaction to them.
Right. Well, yeah, another thing, again, I'm on my 8th AA slogan. My favorite one is, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about.
I like, someone told me about when an alcoholic's family member goes into Al-Anon. Great. Now there's 2 people thinking about you all the time.
Well, they already were. That's why you were a good match.
Yeah, totally.
But you don't have any addictive qualities, or
I do.
you do?
I do.
Yeah, because you
And
seem like a candidate for it. You said you had trauma. You don't have to tell me what it was, but generally,
there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of, this feels like actually a safe place to say this. I wasn't going to, and you'll tell me what you think, because I think it's such a kind of, it's something I will talk about more, and I'm writing about now, which has been really interesting. But I was thinking as I came here, I was like, I was going to tell you privately, but I was like, do I say this? Do I not? Because it's such a, like, you don't want to sort of advertise it and seem like you're so proud of yourself. But I've been sober for 6 months.
oh, you have.
I have.
Oh, that's great.
I was,
Oh, can I guess what happened?
yeah,
This could be a fun guess.
can't wait.
So you have anxiety.
Really bad.
The biggest epidemic no one talks about, everyone knows about the opioid epidemic.
I love where you're going with this.
But what people don't recognize is that the benzo epidemic is equally as rampant.
You've hit the nail on the head.
It's a great, great tool at the beginning of it. If you have anxiety, Xanax is great, Ativan's great.
Suddenly you can operate in the world.
Yes, but it is
My
a
particular
very...
passion was Klonopin.
Okay, Klonopin.
Yeah.
But it's a very diminished returns answer to that problem, as is our opiates. So is that it? Was it benzos?
100%. Klonopin, it is a rough hang, Klonopin. And
They say one of the hardest things to detox from is benzos.
it's shocking. It's
Really?
shocking what it feels like. And it was a real slow, I mean, I've had my fair share of opiate experience because I've been so sick at times. And
Right.
I've had 10 abdominal surgeries in the last 3 years. So,
Oh, wow.
So I know what that looks like. And I've had to take opiates for extended periods of time, 2-3 weeks, getting off them. Doesn't feel great.
It's not great. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not great. You've
Yeah.
you've got a pretty hardcore 24 to 46 hours.
Yeah.
24 to 48 hours. I know how many hours are in 2 days. But the thing about
A lot of time on the
benzos-
toilet, too.
a lot of time on the
Yeah,
toilet, a lot of
you
time, like a lot of time to read a magazine, but you don't want to. So I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
The benzo thing is crazy because it's also, firstly, let's just say it is the most normalized, especially in our industry. Everyone's got a fucking pill in their purse, a thing in their bag. I want to make sure I have it with me because I'm going to this event. I'm going to take half of a Xanax. I have an early call time. Fly a lot.
Yeah.
And I was a real just like I remember my mom saying to me, and this is not me blaming her, when I was a kid, she was like, there's no reason to ever suffer.
Yeah.
There's no reason to ever suffer. And when my anxiety was really bad as a kid, she'd say, we're going to get you on medication because there's no reason to ever suffer.
Sure.
And she's right. There's no reason to put you don't need to be a hero about things. But I really took that to heart. And when I was having crazy anxiety and having to show up for things that I didn't feel equipped to show up for, I was like, there's no reason for me to ever suffer. And at the beginning...
Or you're also probably evaluating, well, I can't do that things without some help. So I just won't be doing it, but I know I need to do it.
I know I need to do it. And when I take a Klonopin, I can do it. Like suddenly I felt the thing everybody talks about in the rooms, everybody talks about in sobriety, which is I feel like the person I was supposed to be.
Yeah, for me, alcohol... And this guy we're friends with, Gordon Keith, he said it best, where it's like, we're all born 2 beers away from being happy.
So good.
And
well, for me, it was 2 Klonopin away from being happy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just happy. It was like suddenly I felt like the part of me that I knew was there was like freed up to do her thing.
Right. Yeah, it quiets the monster upstairs enough that you can be your best self.
And I didn't have any trouble getting a doctor to tell me, no, you've got serious anxiety issues. You should be doing that. You should be taking this. This is how you should be existing.
Right.
So it stopped being, I take one when I fly.
Mm-hmm.
And it started being like, I take one when I'm awake.
Right. Sure. When my eyes are open.
Yeah. And then I was like, suddenly.
And you build up a tolerance pretty quick to benzos.
Very fast. And so I took them on and off. And then I was diagnosed with pretty serious PTSD after I have like a few sexual traumas in my past. Then I had all these surgeries. Then I had my hysterectomy after a period of really extreme pain, and I was diagnosed with PTSD, and it stopped feeling like I had panic attacks, and it started feeling like I was a living panic attack. Like the only thing that was notable were the moments in the day where I didn't feel like I was going to barf and faint.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, and the reason I talk about this is because I think that I know deeply that I'm not alone. And during that time, and by the way, I was taking medication, and I was taking Klonopin, and at that point, it wasn't making it better, but I just thought, if I don't take this, how much worse will it get?
Well, that's the thing is I'm happy for people to do anything that, as you say, prevents suffering. And David Harbour was on here, and he has the best grasp of all this, way better than I understand it, because he knows depression really, really well. He has a great take on it, for what that's worth, if you want to hear it. So I'm out of my depth when I say, but just in general, I don't think you should suffer. But the reason I'll come out on this side of it is, it'd be great if it really worked.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't. Just like for me, alcohol, it worked for a decade, but then it does stop working. And at that point, now you're double fucked, because the thing that did work doesn't work. Now
and it's
what?
making you more anxious, and you're having crazy rebound anxiety throughout the day. And something I feel really blessed about is it stopped working. And if I look back, there was a solid 3 years where I was, to put it lightly, misusing benzos.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was all quote unquote doctor prescribed, and I had convinced somebody to tell me that this was the way. I can recognize now the way that my own manipulation played a part.
Sure. There's a lot of people in AA that said I had a back problem for 8 years, and when I got sober, the back problem went away.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought, my thought was like, I'm not in pain because I take pills. I take pills because I'm in pain, and I'm not anxious because I take pills. I take pills because I'm anxious. And then suddenly you realize that entire thing is turned on its head. And the doctor who helped me detox off of benzos, which is like, by the way, the reason I talk about this isn't just to be like, look at me, I did it. It's to be like, people should know, nobody I know who is prescribed these medications is told, by the way, when you try to get off this, it's going to be like the most hellacious acid trip you've ever had, where you're fucking clutching the walls and your hair is blowing off your head and you can't believe you found yourself in this situation. Like, now the literal smell of the inside of pill bottles makes me want to throw up. Like,
really?
It's like the amount of trauma I have just around that. And I still feel like my brain is recalibrating itself to be able to experience anxiety. But even though the peaks of joy that I've experienced in my 6 months of sobriety there's nothing else like it on this planet.
Yeah. People don't recognize is pills and booze and all that stuff does very effectively help you deal with the lows. But it also then it lops off the highs. You just start living in a very finite zone of basically no feelings.
No feelings. And I look back at who I thought that medication was allowing me to be more myself. And I actually I can see all of the things that sort of the world wrought upon me. Like, I don't blame myself for my illness. I don't blame myself for the sexual abuse I experienced. I don't blame myself for the physical abuse I experienced. I don't blame myself for the challenges of being a woman in this world and an anxious woman in this world and living in this body. But I do see the way that I medicated myself, negatively impacted people around me, and decimated my decision making and hurt my creativity. And so I just feel literally like on my knees grateful every single day. At my worst moment in my life, I mean, yes, really hard things had happened to me. And I'm able to more clearly now see what they were and like how they were turning points in my life. And like I always thought, my whole life, I thought I'm going to work my ass off, and then when I'm 30, I'm going to get pregnant, and that's going to slow me down. And then when I was 30, I literally, that part of my body revolted. I had 9 surgeries to try to be able to keep my uterus. Ultimately, I couldn't, and it was the deepest grief I'd ever had in my life. But before that, at my lowest point, I was in a relationship with a really amazing, loving person.
Had won a couple Golden Globes.
I'd won a couple Golden Globes. I had an incredible career. I had a family that loved me. I owned 3 houses, and I felt like I would go outside and like trees would look like they were menacing me. Like it was so dark. And the thing that I think is so scary about, and really what I care about now, like I spent a lot of time in my 20s going, what is my cause? Because I care about everything. I care about human rights and justice. So it's like, it's easy for me to throw my name behind a billion liberal causes that are meaningful to me. But the thing that I care the most about is the intersection for women of trauma, mental health, and addiction. Because I just think that in that nexus is like, I can see how I would have been lost to the kind of like gravitational pull of my own pain and drowning it out. And I think we lose so many good women. We talk a lot about like, what are things that are holding women back? And one of the things that I think is holding women back, besides, you know, we know it's societal bias. We know that it's, you know, there's a pay gap. We know, but also like the lack of resources around, like tons of women have experienced trauma. We think PTSD is like reserved for Iraqi soldiers or whatever, but tons of women are experiencing incredible amounts of trauma. As this past week with Kavanaugh showed us, like the RAIN hotline went down because so many women were re-traumatized by listening to that testimony. And so I feel like my job, having survived and, you know, by the grace of God, surviving every day and staying clean and staying in the world, like I feel like my job is to try to like give a voice to that story.
Now, as I've followed you over the years, what has infuriated me several times and where you and I diverge and you're so much more evolved than I am is you are very liberal. You're outspoken proponent for a lot of meaningful change, and yet you've been devoured by the left like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And it always it infuriates me. It's one of my complaints about our site is that we just can't wait to devour one another. And you just don't see that on the right as much.
They've definitely figured out how to keep the crosstalk to a minimum, so to speak. Like they are really like they're in step with each other, even if they privately fucking despise each other.
Yeah, like I one time stupidly referred to Riz Ahmed on Ellen as being Indian. And he is Pakistani, as it turns out. I mean, he's lived in England, so he's neither. But I did that, and I got, you know, several hundred people calling me a racist on Twitter. And my knee-jerk reaction was like, you could be tweeting David Duke, you're a racist, but you're choosing to use that energy on me.
Yeah.
It just feels like, aren't there bigger fish to fry than me saying that? Why is that where your energy is going? And I get defensive, but I've seen you in the face of that, like apologize to people when I personally would have either been incapable or I just didn't think they deserved an apology. You seem to have this really benevolent, like it's not going to kill you or pain you to just acknowledge that they're hurt and keep it moving. How do you go through those, and what happens when those things happen to you?
I've for sure made mistakes, and I've made big mistakes. And it's funny because I was never a drinker. I was never a pot smoker. I never did quote unquote recreational drugs. So it never occurred to me that my judgment could be impaired in any way because I was like, I'm just taking the medication I need to be alive.
Right.
And now I look and I'm like, no, all my senses weren't intact, and maybe I wasn't being as sensitive or as self-aware as I could have been. I'm not saying, I mean, there are plenty of times that I did things people didn't like where I was stone cold, anxiety ridden sober, but there were also times that like, I think my judgment was generally impaired by my obsessive desire to escape my own pain.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing about apologizing, and now there's like a whole narrative like, all Lena Dunham ever does is get into shit and apologize for it. But I'm like, isn't that our job? Isn't that any long-term relationship is just like a fucking series of apologies?
Well, the ninth step's going to be much easier for you
I
than
love
it
to
is for
apologize.
most people.
Nobody wants my apologies anymore. They're like, we heard it, we're done. My new thing is I'm like, how do I, because I'm such an obsessive apologizer, like someone like crashes into me and I say I'm sorry, like I can't. My dad used to make a rule. He'd say no more saying I'm sorry today and no more saying I love you, because it would be like I'd wake up and I'd be like, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry, I love everything. And he was like, no, it's done. So like how to meaningfully apologize and how to apologize to people in the way that they want to be apologized to. Like, I want a super verbose apology in which you explain to me what a wonderful person I am and how I've changed your life. Somebody else might just want you to fucking show up for their birthday party and shut the fuck up.
Right.
And
Stop
that's-
talking about yourself for 5 seconds.
I don't want to talk about it. Can we just like go get sushi and you can be the fuck quiet? It's like,
yeah.
so I'm working on
That
that
can be an
one.
amends for some
Yes,
people.
a living amends, so to speak.
Yeah. Was there one though that was harder for you where you were like, I'm about to apologize to somebody that I don't feel like deserves an apology?
I've had a couple public apologies where I've been like, I can't fucking believe I have to say this right now. Like, I cannot believe. I'm trying to think if there's any ones that really stand out to me right now. There's a few where I've been like, maybe this is a good point, but the person who brought this up is a fucking asshole.
Right.
I can't like I'll look at their Twitter and I'll be like, this person's called out 72 celebrities in the last 32 hours.
Oh, it's
like,
so helpful to occasionally look at people's timelines. Is that what it's called?
yeah, like someone will be mad
And
at
just
me,
go like,
and then it'll be like, at Britney Spears, you're a twat, and I'm like, oh, you're not regulating your emotions at all.
No, and then I quickly realized like, oh, this person is in the hunt of prestige in a call out culture in the most generic way possible. And like, I don't need to be fodder for this person. Whatever. I can just let it blow past me. But it is weird because we have access to too many people and we hear from too many people. And just no matter what, it's hard to know if what you said was 98% received and appreciated, or if what you said is actually offensive to 40% of people. It's almost impossible to know. It's kind of like when you have a great meal, rarely does someone call the manager over to say like, hey, just want to let you know my server was awesome and the food was great. But if you find a toenail in your steak, you're going to
fucking tell them.
Yeah,
you're going to tell them.
It's a much bigger motivator. So it's hard to know what your message, whether, you know, ultimately in a utilitarian sense, it was a win or if it was a blunder, right?
100%. And it's also just like at a certain point, and this has been a big part of I keep saying the last 6 months, and that is 6 months ago is when I was like, no more substances that could alter my mind or going into my body. But the last 6 months are also when I was like, I need to take care of myself or I'm never going to be able to make anything again. Like I had to look at my life and be like, I want to be an old lady. Like my favorite filmmaker is Agnes Varda, and she's French and she's in her late 80s, early 90s. And she was just on the cover of Interview magazine. She's a chic bitch. And it's like, I want to be fucking 88 and waking up at 4 a.m. to like write my magnum opus. I don't want to be 34 and like withering away in my own guest house.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to just really then at a certain point you have to go like, okay, here's where the rubber hits the road. Like I'm going to start taking care of myself because it's no longer glamorous for me to stay up all night drinking bottled Starbucks and like pounding through this and then like withering away with anxiety tomorrow. And so a big part of my last 6 months has also been like, how am I going to be cool with the gap, as we're talking about gap in perception, between how the public sees me and who I know I am.
Yeah.
It's not even about how I see myself. It's like when I close my eyes and I meditate, like the warm, like light of my own, like essential being is like in direct opposition to the picture that's been painted of me. And so like, how am I going to be okay with that? And it turns out the answer is just like minute by minute, hour by hour, like trying to stay connected to that feeling is how you're going to be okay with it.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
So I've only hung out with Jemima once or twice. I think Kristen knows her and she came over one time to our house. I said to her like, hey, can I talk to you on the side here about something? I did a movie with Adam Driver And I loved him from Girls. I was excited to meet him. And it turns out he's from a little town in Michigan, right next to where my grandparents owned a motel.
No way.
And we're going to get on famously. And I was like, oh, my God, you're from Coldwater. Like, my grandparents' hotel was in Sturgis. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, really, dude? That's that? And that was that. And then we had to promote this movie together. And
What was
the
movie that you did with Adam?
This is where I leave you.
This is where I
Oh,
leave you.
yeah.
And I tried maybe 3 other times to connect with him. Never. Door was never cracked. I kept knocking on it. So I said to Jemima, I said, was it me? And she goes, no, he was kind of like that. And it drove all of us crazy, us girls. And I was like, what a superpower.
He's
to
like
be smart enough to just not give any...
We were all, I have to say, and I can say this to yours out, we were nuts for Adam Driver attention because he gives it in dribs and drabs. He's not mean.
Right.
He's just coming in. He's doing his job so well. But he's not looking to like gab with you about your cat at craft service. Like he is doing his fucking job. And I think you can tell when he does press, like Adam is there to like do the best version of the fucking thing and get out. And I definitely like especially before I was like a little more like emotionally regulated as like a people pleasing approval junkie. I was constantly putting myself in the path of Adam Driver. If you're listening, I'm sorry about how many times you were just looking at your script and I was like standing in front of you, presenting you with 2 different apples and asking which one you might like to eat. Like I was just, and then if I like couldn't get it, I'd be like, did I do something? Is there something like Adam's behavior? It was a great example of like my narcissism was me being like, Adam seems a little tired today. I don't know what I did. And it's like, maybe you just like, he was like working on his lines. Like, but yes, it's a superpower and ladies go crazy for Adam Driver.
Oh, he had me on the run. I got no business with him. We're not going to fuck.
Here's the thing about Adam. He's like the coolest and in every sense of the word. Like I always think the definition of like a cool person is like they kind of don't seem like they're like moving on your time clock. But I have like never known a pro-er man, and he's so good on SNL.
I didn't see it yet, but I'm curious.
He's always great at it because it's an interesting thing, which is like he's, you know, like when you meet him, quite a serious, focused gentleman, but he's down to clown. In the right context, he's down to clown. He's a deeply supportive person to do a scene with. Like even if he just puts your hand on your shoulder, you're like, oh, like he is all about like making the work or whatever. Like it's the only time I've ever really felt like I was like an actor is acting with Adam because I'm like. Honestly, because he can make like a fucking rock feel like they're going to win an Oscar because he's so good and he's delivering you your thing like on a platter.
That's how I felt with Peter Krause. I was like, oh, he's sucking me into his.
Oh, yeah, that makes so much. He's sucking you into his special little world.
Yes, like he is so trained and so skilled that he would create a reality for both of us. He'd suck me into his little bubble.
When you did that on Girls, and you did this punk rock thing and you were nude and you did all this stuff, and then you inadvertently became like the face of bravery. Was that like, wait, I didn't mean to do that.
I didn't mean to become the face of anything. And then I had a while where I bought into my own mythology and I was like, okay, I was made the face of this thing, so I better do this thing. And something I've really been enjoying. We're now living in a time, like when I first started piping up about stuff, like a lot of celebrities wouldn't say who they were voting for. They wouldn't talk about politics. They wouldn't talk about abortion. Like it wasn't, now that we're living in a hellscape, people are talking about it. A lot of people are talking about it. And suddenly I've been doing this thing where I'm like, okay, a lot of very cool women have this covered. I did it for a while. Now I'm going to hang back. So I talk about things if I think it's very, very important or I have a particular take on it. Or I try to offer my support where it's needed, but I don't like think of myself like I'm just like, okay, I'm off in my cave writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a type of guy? Do you have a dream type?
That's such a great question, and it makes me feel good to be asked. Type of guy. I mean, it's changed over time. When I was younger, I was like, I've always liked a musician.
Do you have a favorite heartthrob from childhood?
Well, this isn't really weird. Yeah, I have a couple, but like, I mean, I was obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio when everybody else was.
Absolutely.
But it was like a sickening love. Like I was sick over him.
I had it for Neb Campbell, or my stomach hurt so bad when I'd watch Party of Five.
But then the person who I felt, and I've told him this, he knows, in high school, the person who I like wanted to shoot myself over.
Yes.
I shouldn't be using gun metaphors at this
Well,
time in
whatever.
history, but
No,
the
it's
person
okay.
I wanted to like,
Oh, is it better if you want to slit your carotid artery?
I know sometimes people on Twitter will be like I'll be like, oh, if that makes me want to kill myself. You're being so casual about mental illness. It's like at a certain point, I'm like, I'm so mentally ill. I have been my whole
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And I also feel like you don't owe the world, like when you've dealt with trauma, like the last thing you need is to have your approach to managing it, your healthy approach to managing it, which is humor. I would argue humor is the healthiest way around these issues. Like I'll apologize for a lot of shit, but I'm not going to apologize for like using humor to get through my life.
Yes.
So that I don't roll off.
Well, it's like when you have a parent die, the shit you and your siblings joke about, like the stuff my brother and I were joking about while my dad was dying was horrific. Anyone that would have viewed it, but man, it helped us so much.
It's so fun and funny when it's happening. Like when my grandma was dying, I had the best time with my cousin. We love our grandma. We were so anxious.
Sure.
It was horrible. All the women were around her and it was like, it was peaceful-ish, but it was really stressful. And we were in the room with her. And my cousin and I kept doing this pose like we were Japanese tourists in front of, like, because when you see those pictures online, it's like a tourist and they don't realize they're in front of like a car accident.
Yes, yeah.
We thought it was funny to like kind of stand in front of our grandma and like flash a peace sign and smile to each other. And then my cousin was like, we can't do this. I could lose my job. And I was like, we're in a room alone.
Yeah.
And this is making us feel better. And grandma would want us to feel good.
Yes.
Grandma likes jokes. She's just in a coma right now.
Yes. I shared this in Toronto last weekend, which was I asked a nurse to take the photo of me and I held a pillow over my dad's face while he was sleeping. And I sent it to my brother and said, just tying things up here in Detroit. I mean, it's horrific, but he and I were both, it was so funny to us.
Of course. And it's
Yeah.
like, and by the way, the nurses know that you need it. The amount of jokes I made when I was in the hospital for 11 days last fall for it'll be a year since I had my hysterectomy in November. And I was in the hospital for 11 days leading up to the
It's gruesome.
hysterectomy.
My mom had it when we were kids, and that's the only time I've ever seen her taken out.
Oh, it was so rough. And like I was sick to the core of my being. And I held up this sign. This made me so, and I've never shared this picture, but it makes me so happy. It's me in my hospital gown, standing up, like, when you have to take your dumb like IV stand to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I'm holding up a small sign that someone gave me that says Trump loves rape. And it's like my favorite protest picture. And my mom kept being like, I'm going to take it, but don't post it. Don't post it.
Our poor parents that have had to go along with all of
Oh,
our-
my mom took like the most beautiful picture of me in the hospital, and she was like, if you're gonna post anything, post this. It was like me sleeping, and I was like, this is disgusting and embarrassing.
Wait, but you never finished your sentence. Who you were going to shoot yourself over?
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, wow.
It was illness inducing how much I loved him. I thought about him all the time. I literally thought about him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told him that. I mean, I was sprung on Jimmy Fallon.
So what was the moment when you got to tell him? Were you like,
I told him on his talk show. I told him before his talk. I was just like,
That's
you
a
don't
safe
know.
place, actually.
Yeah.
It
If
is.
You just tell him in a hallway. He
It
doesn't
will
have a
make
lot
him
of
feel-
wiggle room.
But if it's a talk show, it's like there's the inborn boundary of the talk show. And he was so nice about it. And, now he's like an adult man with kids and the whole thing. He's not like, like a 24-year-old in a giant sweater. Like that's.
Well, us married guys with kids, we live off of those comments. It can get us through a lot just to even know someone felt that way about
Of
us.
course.
Yeah.
And like if I hear someone thinks literally anyone becomes attractive to me when I hear they think I'm attractive.
Oh, me too.
Like
Me-
that's the
so
opposite
the
of me,
most
but yeah.
you do feel the opposite.
I feel truly the opposite. I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with you. But yeah, but that's nice that you feel like that.
I love having crushes had on me. Anyone can become appealing.
Yeah. Again, I should be more involved in this, but in fact, I've said this on here. You could say anything about me, and I mean it. You could go, Dax is the dumbest fucking idiot, and his nose is so gross. I want to fuck him. I'm so good. I'm like,
Yeah.
I no longer heard the first two things.
You just heard
Somehow
that.
those gross things about me make you horny for me, and now life is good.
Everything else is out the window. Everything else is out the window. Will this stay your office forever?
Sadly, this is getting torn down. But
This building?
I'm building something right behind us that will become this new office.
That's so cool. And are you here all the time, Monica?
I'm here all the time. Yeah,
So cool.
between her
between him and Kristen. Yeah.
You're here all the time.
Yeah, we're in a
It's a
three-way
lifestyle.
marriage.
It's
Yeah,
a lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I love it. Now I'm really socked into telling stories. Like it's really where I want to be and where my energy is going. And the idea of nailing my public persona or like killing it in my public life has really become like something that was interesting for me that happened last week is like I did a big long interview for a profile that's coming out around my new show. And I, for the first time, was like, I didn't say anything funny and I don't care.
Yeah.
I was so not funny. I was just like, yeah, I have PTSD. I didn't feel good last year. It was a horrible year. I like to be at home with my cats. I like to watercolor. This is my show. Like it was just like the desire to present, because the desire to be funny and the desire to be liked and the desire to present has actually gotten me in a lot of trouble in the past.
Yeah. Oh,
it's really fucked me over.
Oh, I've gone way too far in it.
I've gone too far. It has not been good. It has not been a good scene.
Oh, I made a joke. You've done obviously Hollywood Foreign Press stuff.
I just did this week.
And for those who don't understand what Hollywood Foreign Press is they've left their country of origin and they are international journalists that cover an area, their country, Croatia, whatever. So, but they live here in Hollywood, and you do these kind of big interviews where there's like 30 of them, and then they disseminate that to their home country, and it gets out around the world. Well, because they're all foreign. And humor and comedy is pretty regional. You can get into hot water pretty easy making jokes in front of them, which I did. One time we were doing a parenthood panel. And the question was like, we'll notice Crosby has a black child. He is with a black woman, but you never talk about she is black. Well, he's trying to ask like, why don't we ever address the fact that we're in an interracial relationship? And I know Kadams is like doesn't really want to handle this question, so I'm like, I'm gonna let him off the hook.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes, why did you choose to have? That's what it was. Why did you choose to put Crosby in a interracial relationship, and why don't you talk about it? And I said, well, I got this. The show's based on the movie, and in the movie, my character had a half black child, and once you have a half black child, well, to be honest, we were just painted into a corner. And I see all these people either writing with their pens this direct quote or typing my direct quote, not a single chuckle. And I realized, this was not obvious to them that I was being funny and sarcastic. They're if someone's gonna read in Croatia, they were painted into a corner and had to hire.
I had to hire. And also the other thing that's amazing, once you have a black child, you're kind of painted into a corner, is also an amazing thing because you're like, I'm also clearly making fun of you for asking this question, which is the thing that doesn't come off.
Totally.
You're like, I'm mocking you for even bringing
I'm not a big enough dick to say to you, that's a stupid question. We shouldn't have to say that. They can just be in a fucking relationship without doing an episode.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not going to say that. So yes, I'm trying to do it by a joke.
And then it's like, I've had that happen a bunch of times. And also my desire to make everybody feel comfortable. Like that's a big thing I had to face this year when I was thinking about all these issues of like sexual harassment in Hollywood, is that sometimes men would do things that crossed my boundaries that I was uncomfortable with. And I'd be so uncomfortable that I would like rise to meet them where they were. So it's like if someone made like a sexual joke to me, I would almost like be so scared that they were going to be embarrassed, and like I would project into their embarrassment that like I'd be like making a sexual joke back to someone who just made my skin crawl and made me want to quit my job. And so then suddenly you're like, I'm playing along with this thing that I don't want to be playing along with.
Yeah. And by the way, this is why the whole issue is about 1 trillion times more complicated than we're giving it credit for. Because there's something like that, right? Like, so I could make a pervy joke. I make a lot of pervy jokes. I like to think I know when people are up for that or not.
The other thing that's nice, though, is I've been noticing actually on this podcast is that your pervy jokes are usually directed at yourself and they're self-effacing. Like, you're not here to make anybody else feel, and I've noticed this when I've listened, you're not here to like project onto anybody else's sexuality or make them feel like you're making assumptions about who they are sexually or emotionally.
I try not to, but I certainly fuck up, by the way. I'm not, I'm not batting 1,000%, but this is why I think it's so much more complicated than we recognize. Is we were watching, I want to say it was 60 Minutes, and they were talking about the sexual harassment that's been happening with chefs around, and they detailed a few different examples, but one of them was, I believe it was someone that either managed or worked at Spotted Pig, which is one of my favorite restaurants.
Yep.
And this manager or owner...
The owner of Spotted Pig got in a lot of trouble.
And one of the examples was he leaned over in a car and kissed this employee of his, and she didn't say anything to him. So let me just I want to be very delicate about how I explain this. I was watching it, and what happened was he went in and he kissed her, and then maybe he grabbed her boob. I'm not even sure what all happened. But when she was talking about the experience, she was paralyzed. She was absolutely paralyzed when it started happening. Yeah. And what has never occurred to me as a guy, and what should occur to me, because I read a great book called On Killing, and it talks about that we think that humans have two mechanisms, fight or flight. In reality, 90% of the way animals deal with things is posture and submit. We have way more hardwiring for a guy to go, fuck you, you fucking pussy. And then the guy just goes kind of blank, like, all right, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say, sorry, Nora, I'm going to submit. You're posturing, I'm going to submit. And that's why guys didn't fire back when soldiers were storming them, shooting at them. Your brain registered, that's a posture. I'm going to submit and do nothing. I'm not going to fire back or do anything. I'm just going to go paralyzed. So what's weird is, for me as a guy trapped in my own view and worldview, if a guy leaned over and tried to kiss me, I would go, oh, I don't want to do that. And so I stupidly assume anyone that doesn't want to kiss me, if I lean over, will tell me, oh, I don't want to kiss you. I'm never thinking that the person might actually feel paralyzed by my approach and give me no signals, and that could be happening. That's where it's like,
and then there's like inborn power structures where like everybody has to kind of go, okay, this person's not going to tell me no. So I'm going to understand that I'm not supposed to lean over and try to kiss anyone who I have basic power over. Like if I'm your boss, even little things like if I'm a lot more wealthy than you and you don't have a job and you think I might help you. It's like if you're the service provider and I'm the customer, like there's just all kinds of dynamics in which it's even harder to assert yourself. So what you're saying is like any woman being kissed by any man might freeze up, but especially a woman who's being kissed by, say, the owner of the restaurant that she works at is then going to have all these thoughts that go through her head where she's like, this person gives me my income. This person could tell other people in the business that I did something. This person could hurt my career. Because I still have a thing like I can make a lot of choices about my own career. I have as much power as I personally need.
Yeah.
And if I think I've offended or pissed off or stepped on the toes of someone who seemingly has more power or more money or more prestige than me, my first thought is like, they're going to take everything from me.
Yeah.
Because that's always my thought about everything is that everything is going to get taken from me.
Yeah. And I weirdly think that the way out of all of this or through all of this is going to be like, we are going to have to amp up our communication by about 1 bazillion %. Because again, what that guy did was wrong. There's no question. But also, that story needs to be shared so that us as guys who only know how we would deal with that, and we're never even comprehending that someone might not say anything, we need to know that that's a thing. And we probably need to ask, like, I would like to kiss you or whatever. There's just, we're going to have to amp up everything.
We're going to have to amp up our communication. Yeah. And that's how I feel about, like, I want to amp up my communication with everybody. And unless somebody directly says to me, like, I don't want to talk about this, I'm going to keep trying to talk about it.
But what's interesting is, and again, you have to, Lena Dunham has a huge mallet that you probably don't even know you have on a second by second basis, which is you have a ton of power. But I can't imagine you walk around feeling like you have a ton of power, right?
I feel so powerless. And I think some of that is just, I think that there's a sense of powerlessness that comes with being a woman, especially a woman at this time. And I mean, a woman at every time in history, but right now it's like we've had this like regression into like power that we thought we had is gone. But also I think like all of our trauma gives us a sense of powerlessness. Like so many of us walk around feeling like the person that we were in some way internally feeling like the person we were in some way on our worst day, even on our best day. And then it's weird because I always feel like if I do realize I have power, I like flex it at the wrong moment or in the wrong way. Like it's like I say yes and I say yes and I say yes. And like I had an experience this week. I was working on this movie, this Quentin Tarantino movie. I'm honored to be on it. It's an amazing experience. It's a dream. But like because of my autoimmune stuff, it's hard for me to be exposed in the sun for a really long time. It like gets my shit going. And I know if that I'm going to feel sick later.
Yeah.
And so there was a shot that like where I was probably in the deep background and we were out in the sun for a long time. And, you know, they were being nice and everyone was being nice and we had got sunscreen, we got umbrellas. But suddenly like my brain starts after a full, 2 months of thinking I'm garbage, my brain's like, I'm a very busy woman. I have 17 jobs. What am I doing out in the sun like this in the deep background? Excuse me. Like suddenly it's like, it never comes out at the moment that it would be useful to me.
Of course, yeah.
And it always comes out at the moment where it's like garbage brattiness, and to do anything with it would be offensive. Like, what am I going to do? Storm out of the shot that I'm already in? Like,
that you're already established in.
Literally. Like,
Yeah.
I had this moment where I like texted my agent and I was like, listen, if they're going to have me in the deep background of a scene, we should get a double. We should get a double. And then I'm like, oh, I'm older than these other girls. I should advocate for them. And I'm like, and they should get doubles for the other girls. But then that just entails putting more girls out in the sun. So it's
Yeah,
like,
you're not getting
and
around.
then it's like, we're all getting paid and we have like umbrellas and sunscreen. Like, why am I being this way? And everything's ultimately just me plotting to get back to bed.
Right.
My whole life is a slow crawl back
And you
to
almost
bed.
got to force yourself to remembering when you first saw Pulp Fiction the first time, what limb you would have cut off to have been a part of that.
Literally. And that's how every single day, like, I would then like, I would like amp myself up. I'd be like, girl, you're in a Quentin Tarantino. You're in a Quentin Tarantino movie right now.
Yeah.
You are in a fucking Quentin Tarantino movie right now. He just added the word motherfucker to your line. And he is like the most fascinating person to watch work. So when I got to be close to that, but when he was like way up at, he doesn't have Video Village, which is so cool. But when he was way up at the like, top of a hill and I was at the bottom of a hill in the deep background of a shot, you can better believe. And also my friend Margaret, who was in the scene with me, she was doing an impression of me because like I'd be like, hey, is this the last shot? And the AD and the like second AD would be like, no, we've got 3 more over here. And I'd go like, great. Yeah, great. And she was like, the way you're saying great is the meanest thing I've ever heard. This is such a blessing. I looked at my like life the other day. I was telling my gent who runs my company, I was like, I just took a look at sort of my ledger, as my grandma would call it, my income ledger, and not one thing that is like supporting my life or the lives of people that I love or my employees or the charities I care about comes from me having to be anywhere on anyone else's time. And that to me is the greatest blessing in the world. And that is actually something that's come to me in the last 6 months. Like when I was like, okay, it's going to take a little while for the gifts of like getting off of medication and being in my life and like the joys of it all to appear. And actually there's been an incredible, as I've like figured out what my next phase looks like I've been able to make some extremely authentic choices.
Well, and I just want to clarify, because I think it could be seen as either arrogant or ungrateful, but I would argue that it's incredibly healthy, because I now look at situations where I'll hear what this shooting of the Leonardo movie, The Revenant, was like. I had crew members from my movie had been on that movie, and I hear about that experience. And I now am of the opinion, no, I would not be willing to suffer for 6 months and be miserable so that the thing I was in would be heralded as great. And I think it's healthy, because I now recognize like, oh, that's my ego. My ego wants to be in something that everyone looked up to. And then I've made my life miserable just to validate my ego. So it's not healthy for me.
No, and I think that's one of the reasons that like people are like, why are actors so bummed out all the time? Because they're have this amazing job and it's their dream and they're finally achieving their dream. But I think there's this thing that happens where it's like, you're a performer in high school and you love being in plays and it's super fun and you put on plays with your friends and you rehearse after school and you found a place that's you. But then you get into the movie industry and you're literally like, your body's a prop. The studio tells you to lose weight. They add hair to your hair. You're like kind of like, ruffled over. You kind of feel like a little bit overtouched and degraded and made into something else. And so obviously there's much harder jobs and more frustrating things, but it's like, it's not the thing that gave you all this joy. And like, I always try to have a lot of empathy. Like if an actor's a real bitch on set, and I'm not saying bitch about a woman, like I mean like a guy, a girl, whoever.
Sure. An asshole.
If someone's a fucking asshole about their scene and they're trying to change their lines and they're asking you why they're doing something, that is in many ways on this particular project their only source of power. And we all want to feel powerful in our lives.
Sure. I think a lot of it's just fear of getting started.
100%.
And if you just start, quite often it's not nearly as bad as you thought it was going to be.
And being a person is tiring and it's scary no matter where you are. And there's very few people in the world that I can't muster something resembling empathy for, although there's certainly a couple.
Sure.
But I've also had to realize we come into our careers thinking that, as you said, like I had a lot of thoughts. I was like, if I could only, host SNL one time and go to, one party where my dress has a train.
Yeah.
I'm never going to feel
the Met
this way
Ball,
again.
host SNL.
And
I'll prove I am valuable.
Yeah. But my thought was always, and then I can get in bed forever.
Oh, right. The ultimate fantasy was just to.
Yeah. To just be done.
Yeah. I relate to that. And I have got to really police myself on that because when you do that, or when I do that, what I realize is I'm forgetting that the process is so fun. And I'm looking only at the results. And then I want to do nothing, but that's a bizarre fantasy to have.
Yeah.
Like being productive in itself is of value and gives you self-esteem. The thing that I learned.
The most joyful I ever am is when I'm making something and I don't know if
Yes.
people are going to like it or if they're not going to like it or if they're going to connect to it, if they're not going to connect to it. Like,
Yeah.
what a pleasure.
The thing, though, that I think is helpful in this writer, Don Roos, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a wonderful man. I look up to him so much. But he one time told me, he's like, when you say my career, that's your ego. When you say my work, that's healthy. So
Yeah.
like, stop thinking about like this project is blank for my career. That's a story. That's like something you think is going to be evaluated. But my job is to sit down and write on a computer. It's not my career. It's just my activity I do.
It used to drive me crazy because I would say to my dad, like, I'm so sick, but I have to go do this press thing. And he's like, what does have to mean? And I'm like, I'm going to be in a ton of trouble if I don't. And he'd be like, what does trouble mean? And I'd be like, it's going to be terrible. Like, I'm not going to be able to do the things I want to in the future. And he'd be like, is that true? And he would just be asking the questions and I'd be like, you don't get it. You don't get anything. But it's like, he was actually saying like, there's almost nothing. And I've learned that actually one of the great gifts of being sick has been sometimes I just have to stop and listen to my body. And there's truly almost nothing. Like, do I regret being sick and missing one bar mitzvah? Like Jenny Hunter's daughter's bat mitzvah, if I would have done anything to be there.
Right.
The rest of it, like, is fine.
Now, with all that said, the remaining thing that could get me very horny would be to be in a Tarantino movie. That to
really
me
cool.
is like, I have zero aspirations left, but fucking A, if I could be in one of those 10 movies he's going to make, I would love to watch him work. I would just, So you get a call, or did you audition? You got a call, right?
I had a meeting with him and we talked, and I love the female characters that he writes. I care a lot about his work. It's been very formative for me. I expressed that. And then I got to go to the set, and the first day I called up my friend Mary on the way home from set, and I was squealing like a kid who went to Disney World. Like, I just couldn't believe, he doesn't have cell phones on his set.
Oh, really?
He has everybody leave their cell phone. And it's not some crazy, like, I'm afraid you're going to leak my thing. It's like, he's just like,
Be present.
he's just like, be here.
Yeah.
So everyone's doing their job. No one's like checking their fantasy football. No one's reading an ebook. It's like so cool.
So you're time traveling back to
I
like
could-
98.
I couldn't believe it. And I was like, everyone is so focused. I made friends. I was excited.
Has
I,
anyone
like,
been
almost-
busted for having a cell phone? Did you
I
witness
haven't
that?
seen it. Although I did at one point ask a PA. I was like, do you take Brad Pitt's cell phone
Yeah, I was
away?
just going to say,
Yeah.
Pitt's got to
And
have
she was
his.
like, no. But I never saw him pull it out.
Well, he's smart enough not to pull it out.
He's so
What a fucking
smart.
babe. Jesus Christ.
I died. I mean, he's everything that you would hope that he would be. I saw him once in this morning, actually. I don't want to brag. I only saw him in costume. Then today he wasn't in his costume. And I was like, where do you even get a white t-shirt that looks like
Yes.
my God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe he
His
just wears
whole
everything
look-
that well.
His whole look is just so cool, and he's so nice, and he's nice to everyone, and he remembers everybody's name. Like, you're like, oh, there's a reason you get to be a movie star.
Yeah.
Just like you're better at things than the average person.
Absolutely. I've learned a really cool trick from a camera operator, Scipio Africano. He taught me this really cool trick, which is he had read that you learn people's names better when you need something from them. If you need something from a person, you'll remember their name. So what he does, because the camera operators more than anyone, they got to remember like the stand-in's name, the person who's just guest starring that day, because he's going to have to say, Michael, will you step here, step there?
Yeah.
So what he does is he hangs out at Crafty in the morning, and he's just kind of sitting there with his coffee. And when that person comes up, he introduces himself, and then he says, oh, Michael, will you hand me a sugar? He creates a task and a need so that he needs something from them for one moment.
smart.
And that's how he does it. And I was like, that's brilliant. I'm so bad at it. And I had the worst realization ever. So I was like, oh, I'm so bad at names. I don't remember everyone's name. And then I had to admit to myself, oh, I know the producer's name. I know the director's name. I know everyone above me's name.
That's really good. You grappled with it and got it.
And I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. I know everyone that's above me's name. But it kind of answered, he later answered that question. It's like, I need something from those people, or I want something from those people.
Yeah.
So then I've learned their name. But what I found is when I direct, I know everyone's name, every person on the crew's name, because again, I need stuff from them. I need, the prop master to get this thing, Jeffrey Johnson.
100%.
He's the
I had an
greatest.
antagonistic relationship with a prop master one season.
As an actress or a showrunner?
An actress and a showrunner, but like, you know, when you kind of make somebody, I don't know if you ever do this, like the joking butt of your constant rage.
Uh-huh.
And I felt comfortable directing it all at this white man whose name is Glenn. And I'd like to hear apologize to Glenn, who didn't deserve, I wasn't like mean to him, but anytime there was a problem on set, I'd be like, eyes on Glenn. Like I just was like
yes.
sassy.
Uh-huh.
And you know what the root of it was? One time I was supposed to be drinking coffee in a scene and Glenn did something really insane.
Unforgivable.
Yeah. He poured Pepsi in a cup and then added milk.
Oh,
What?
Because I guess he like didn't have coffee at that minute.
Sure, it happens.
Which I get, but like I was like,
Well,
are
heads
you
up.
really trying to get me to take a sip of Pepsi and milk in this scene, Glenn? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? I'm not this good an actor.
Right.
Brad Pitt could do it. I
Yes.
can't do it.
It would derail you. You didn't finish Tarantino. So you had a meeting with him. Are you allowed to even, you're probably not allowed to say anything. Is the
I'm
genre
too
known?
scared. Yeah, the genre's known. The movie is about Hollywood in the late 60s.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Does it have, is the title known?
It's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, great. And so you have a great meeting
And
with
it's
him.
known that I play a Manson girl, Manson woman.
Oh,
That is public knowledge. And there
so
has been a
excited.
photo of me in my costume leaked.
And showing your underwear to Brad
And
Pitt.
showing my underwear to Brad Pitt. And so I wear a kind of like fun linen-y / crocheted kind of moo dress.
Sure.
And kind of a kind of ambiguously ethnic earring ring situation.
Beautiful.
And some hair extensions.
The Manson stuff is so much more interesting than I had originally known. The guy wrote a really detailed book and he was on NPR or something. I heard like the fact that he was preparing for a race war. He was trying to instigate a race war.
He was trying to instigate a race war because what he thought was going to happen was that his people were going to find a city under the desert, go into it.
And they were-
there was going to be a race war.
Instigated by them.
Instigated by them. Black people were going to win, but then black people wouldn't be used to running the country. So in whatever number of years, it would be in shambles, and then they'd crawl out from under the desert and like
They play the
help
waiting game there for a minute. But they
Oh
were
my
in Death
God.
Valley. Like we think of them. I think they were in Topanga's where they were generally hanging out.
They were generally hanging out in Chatsworth.
Oh, in Chatsworth. Great.
Yeah, which is where we've been filming.
Okay. And he also, unbeknownst to me, is he was an aspiring musician, right? That's what he most desperately
tracks
wanted to
are
be.
available on the internet.
And they're terrible. They're not
Yeah,
great.
he's not a good singer. He's not like a hot talent that everyone's looking to
No.
sign.
No.
And what is?
And he was using those gals originally to sleep with record executives and stuff so that he would get his foot in the door. It's so weird, like, because he had two very different messages. One was like, it was going to be apocalypse and race war, and then side project, I need to become a popular
Successful
musician.
folk singer.
I know. like,
The
what?
other thing that's interesting about the Manson story to me is like, I feel like we have such a cultural obsession with it, with him
Mm-hmm.
and with the girls and with what was that dynamic. But the thing I feel like we don't say, and what was interesting to me in playing this and in researching it's the only part I've ever like researched for,
Right.
is like, what it really is just a story about sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story about sexual abuse. The way, how did people are like, how did he get all those women? Was he so charismatic? No, what he did was the same thing that pimps do, which is
Dominate.
which is zero in on women who already had an enormous amount of trauma,
Yeah.
figure out how to make them feel temporarily special, then dominate them in exactly the way that they were used to being dominated. So it was like a re-traumatization and perpetuation of their sexual shame and fear and humiliation.
And mixed with probably Stockholm syndrome. That's part of it too, right?
I'm 100%
Yeah.
sure. And now there's like women who have spoken about it since and what the experience was like. But like, you know, I think we all like to think like, oh my God, these people are crazy. But what we don't like to think is like, a lot of us,
Yeah.
because of our different shit, I've had a few kind of like experiences where I've like gotten a little too into like, you know, an LA health guru or whatever.
Sure.
And then suddenly gone like, oh no, like
Yeah,
it's just
the bog one.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. My friend Russell took a picture of me the other day wearing multiple layers of rust colored clothing, then did a who wore it better between Sheila and me. I felt really cool.
I'm obsessed and so in love with Ma, not Sheila. She's my number one.
She's your hall pass.
Fucking A. I told Monica, I get a time machine. I'm making 2 stops. Her grandma, when she was 18, the sexiest woman I've ever seen in my life,
You mean, Monica's grandma?
My grandma.
is the hottest woman that's ever walked planet Earth.
Oh my God.
She is a smoke show. Holy shit.
Yep. So you're going to go stop at Monica's grandma.
Yep.
And then straight to Ma Nan when she's building that city. What a powerful lady. I mean,
I know. Well, she would
Fuck you up in the
take you
shack.
in. She'd fuck you up in the shack and then she'd spit you out.
yeah, and the
in a
whole
great
ride,
way.
I would love it. It'd be
You'd
so
love
exhilarating.
it. You'd feel so, and also because you're like a person with a lot of energy and intensity, like it'd be nice for you almost to just be shut down by Sheila.
Oh, I would love it. It's like those powerful businessmen who are like submissives and they go get their asses whipped.
Fucking
and
heaven.
Yeah, like just check all my alpha bullshit at the door and let her march me around.
Die
and
for it.
Run me up and down the flagpole.
Die for it.
So when you actually you got a call and said you're in this movie.
When I found out, I was really, really, really excited. And then, you know, I went for a costume fitting. I went for another costume fitting. I kept thinking like something was going to happen at every phase.
Right, where
shoe would change their mind.
the clerical mistake would be noticed.
100%. I was going to get fired after the first day.
Yeah.
After my first shot, I was like, that probably isn't what they wanted. So today, this morning before I came here, when I rapped and they said, that's a wrap on Lena Dunham, like, even though everyone was so nice, there was a part of me that was like, are they like, okay, now we have to figure out how to edit
How to cut her out,
her.
Isn't it
Yeah.
amazing? You still feel like you're gonna get fired on the first day or cut like that. It never goes away.
Never goes away.
No, I still
does.
feel
I
like,
promise you, Brad Pitt's insecure in some of those
Yes.
scenes in his movie. I promise.
I mean, he doesn't act, he's so good at acting cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Brad Pitt's so good at doing cool stuff.
Did you see him with his shirt off at all?
Yeah, did you?
No, but I had this thing, which is like sometimes when there's someone who's very like traditionally attractive, technically attractive. Although I think Brad, I'll call him, has something more.
He transcends his.
He transcends his good looks and redefines them. But it's almost like I have a more maternal feeling towards him.
Of course.
Of wanting to care for him and wanting to put him back inside
Yeah, I
my
have that.
womb.
But mine's
that I don't
sexual.
have.
This is Monica's thing too.
I have
and I have a theory on
nurturing
that.
sexuality proclivity.
Fantasy.
So cool.
Yeah. And I think, you know what I've diagnosed it in Monica as is you've figured out a way to make yourself essential to the person.
Oh, yeah. No,
like
they're
everyone else
needed.
is offering this, but I've got this niche thing I can do that's going to make
Yeah.
me special in their eyes.
And they're going to know that they can't get this with anybody else.
My thing is like, I'll be his only date that can, if his motorcycle breaks, he can ride safely on the back of mine.
100%.
How there's very few people he could trust
No, he
to
wouldn't
be on
trust
the
anyone.
back of a motorcycle with. He's got children.
He knows that. Do you still ride your motorcycle a lot?
Yeah, nonstop.
So,
I
but you'll
love
ride it like it's your way of getting places.
Everywhere. I say it's my superpower.
A couple days ago, we were all on a plane together leaving Toronto. We get off the plane. He has his motorcycle. And we're like, bye. I step into the Uber line and I get a text from him, home.
And I live in Los
haven't even
Feliz
gotten
from LAX.
my
Maddening.
Uber yet.
It's a superpower. I feel like I teleport places because of the motorcycle.
Does Belle ever ride in the back? She's not scared.
She is the weirdest thing. She could give a shit. I took her. There's this racetrack in Germany called the Nürburgring, and it's the longest racetrack in the world. It's a 17-mile lap. I rent this Porsche from Avis Rental Car. You're not supposed to take it on the track. I do anyways. The back stretch, we're going 195 miles an hour. I look over at her. She's like thumbing through a magazine. And she doesn't even look up to see that we're doing anything. It's like, it's not like she's game. She just doesn't care. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
So
well,
cool.
yeah. It's pretty gangster of her, right?
She's really gangster. You guys have been together 11 years now?
Yeah.
So impressive.
Yeah.
So you guys got together. You were like 32 or something?
Great fast math.
My age.
I was 32. She was 27.
And here's another question. How old were you when you got sober?
29.
29. So you had like a couple
End of 29.
So you had like 3 years under your belt of good, solid work.
Yes.
And we're like,
she met a
and
much different version of me than other people have.
you were entering into the relationship from a thoughtful place.
Yes. And
So
not just the sobriety, but also recognizing my sex addiction and my love addiction and all these kind of things that were all external things to regulate my internal emotions.
100%.
I love you. I'm so flattered you came to see us. I really am. When I reached out to you, I was like, I can't believe she's saying yes.
No, I love you. And I also shared a lot in this situation that I haven't shared in other places. And it felt really, sometimes you got to go with your gut. And it felt really right.
Good.
You're a safe, thoughtful, understanding, yet you urge people to be better.
Oh, well, thank you.
So I wish everyone could see his overalls. He is cute.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. She was blinded by the facts, wrapped up like a deuce into the runner in the night, blinded by the facts. She on down, she gonna find the truth, she gonna make it through the night. Again, the end is not there. The beginning is there.
The beginning is definitely there. It's arrived.
And sometimes you're going to have to settle for the beginning.
Yeah. That's the theme. That seems to be the theme of the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. It's fine. It's
you
great.
knew this day was coming, right?
What? We lost our
pretty,
jobs?
Yes. I'm pretty dependable. Don't you think I'm pretty dependable? 55 episodes in or whatever.
You mean in life or on this podcast?
No, on this show.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, on this show, I'm pretty dependable. Not today. We were wondering when I'd have one of those days where I could just barely do this.
Yeah, on the day that we need to really barrel through.
We do, because to give you a little peek behind the curtain, we're leaving crack ass in the morning to go to the sand dunes.
Your favorite place.
Favorite place on planet Earth, and there's so much to do. And I was out of town yesterday and this morning, and now there's 3 vehicles that need fuel. There's a lot of stuff. I got to make a lot of spaghetti.
Yeah.
What do you got to do?
And I got to pack, but I don't have much to pack. What should I pack?
I'm
packing
bikini.
Game. No.
Okay.
Pasties? No.
Negligee? A nightie?
No.
No.
Is it going to be cold there?
No, it's going to be very warm.
It is?
Yeah, it's going to be about 90 in the daytime, 67 at night.
Shit.
It's going to be hot as shit.
So don't bring
snowsuit, moon boots.
Dang it.
Well, they'll bring moon boots. That's virtually what clugs are. Glugs?
Uggs.
Uggs. We wear Uggs out there in the dunes.
Clugs.
It has a nice wide footprint and it helps keep you on top of the sand.
I don't wear Uggs, unfortunately.
Why not?
I wear... So embarrassing. I can't even talk about
your sunglasses at night?
No. What?
I wear my sunglasses.
I heard that song the other day.
You did? Did you get so excited?
Mm-hmm,
Oh,
did.
wonderful.
I don't have Uggs. I have a generic version.
Ugh,
American
that's so unlike
Eagle.
You. Well, that's a trusted brand.
They're from high school.
Oh my goodness, they're very old.
Yeah, because I don't wear Uggs in life.
Testament to what a high quality product it is that the rubber hasn't disintegrated.
It's not that. You're right. That's the
I mean,
best
if
way
they're
to
still
look
with
at
us,
it. But I
pretty
don't
good.
wear them. I only wore them last year to the sand dunes. I mean, I wore them in high school, sure.
Yeah.
Even then, it was sad. It's sad. It was a rip off of the thing. So that was my whole life.
I hear you.
That's why I have things that are not rip off versions now.
That's right, because you really wanted them as a kid and you didn't get them.
Yeah.
She goes back, fact, check it again.
Oh.
She's running round and round. You go, fact, check, do it again. That's Steely Dan. You know, I love Steely Dan.
That's really nice. Okay. So you talk about Rusty's speech. That's Paul Rust.
That's right. Paul Rust, Star of Love.
Star of Love.
Which we love.
Yeah. We watched the first season.
And Paul Rust is so cute. Ugh.
Oh, he's so cute.
We like him so much.
Yeah,
so
he's-
unique.
He is. And he comes from the UCB.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote a very nice speech that made you feel all teary.
It really did, man. He was talking about how Leslie made him feel cool.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
sweet.
Oh, that's really nice.
Is that amoral to say part of their speech publicly?
I don't think
Even
so.
if I'm being super complimentary?
No, because you're also not like verbatim. You're just saying.
Well, actually, the full speech went, you made me feel so cool because normally I don't feel cool because I don't have any testicles.
Oh,
And
that's
I have
so
a tail.
sweet.
Do you think I'm saying anything he would object to?
No, no.
He doesn't care if people know he has a tail.
No.
Right?
People pretty much already know that about him.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, another person that we don't give full name, Jemima Kirk
Great.
from Girls.
That's right. She's from Girls.
She's from Girls. She's from Tiny Furniture.
Uh-huh.
She's from,
An artistic family.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to get down to the beginning of it
I
all.
think people probably knew it was Jemima Kirk, but just in case.
Yeah, if you want to look her up. She's so pretty. I
Yeah.
think she's those big round eyes I generally like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was a conversation about how to love somebody, like giving them what they need versus what you are expecting, out of
Mhm.
love, or what you need out of love might not coincide with what they need.
Uh-huh.
We talked about that, and then that made me think of the love languages. And then I wondered, did we already talk about love languages before?
It doesn't matter.
I know,
We
but
can recycle here.
we can.
I've needed to hear many concepts multiple times before I got them. Not
That's
that this
true.
is one that's so abstract that requires repeating,
Exactly.
but we can't set an expectation for ourselves that we're never gonna, or that everything we say is gonna be new on here. We'll die. We'll die.
Then
we'll
I'll
die
just
ourselves.
die.
Okay, no, don't die.
I might.
Love languages.
Love languages, 5 of them. Do you know what they are?
Gift giving,
Mm-hmm.
saying I love you,
Words of affirmation.
words of affirmation, making people food,
acts of service.
acts of service.
You've translated all of these into something else. That's so funny. Okay, keep going.
So I've done 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the other 2. I don't even know that I had the first 3, but
Well, I think you kind of are one of the ones you haven't said. One of, maybe.
Dynamite Lover.
Physical touch
Oh, yeah.
is one, and quality time is the 5th.
Mm.
So, what do you think you are? And
Uh,
then what do you think you give? Sometimes those aren't the same.
well, I mean, again, I'm probably wrong. I think physical touch and quality time are things that I value very highly and try to, I think you'll agree. When you come into the house, I don't just go like, hi, and I walk past you. I stop what I'm doing. I look at you and I say, how are you doing?
Yep.
What's going on?
Yeah.
If we're going to interact, I want it to be present and quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's one.
Yeah.
And then I'm always groping you too, right? As you would attest
Always.
to.
It's all
Yeah.
at the same time. It's like, how are you? And then
I'm
also
tune in
you're-
Tokyo.
I don't even know. I don't know what any of
Oh,
these
you don't know what Tune in
are.
Tokyo is?
Well, I know because you just did a hand gesture, but I've never heard that.
The John Hughes movie, 16 Candles. I think there's something about they want to play Tune in Tokyo. It's like high schooler kids and they want to like
and if people
feel
don't
boobs.
know, yeah, people
I'm,
don't know.
I'm putting both hands in front of me with my fingers splayed. And then I'm twisting my hands like I'm twisting knobs on a radio. Tune in
Yeah.
Tokyo, Tune in Tokyo. It's like operating a ham radio.
Yep.
And that's what the young boys wanted to do to a set at breasts.
Yeah.
They wanted to tune in Tokyo.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
Just for the record, I've never
no.
tuned in her Tokyo.
No. We'll be clear.
Still
about
haven't reached Tokyo yet.
that. Oh, I wasn't finished talking about that.
Love languages.
Love languages. We got really distracted by physical touch.
Yeah. One of yours is gift giving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For giving, though, not really receiving. I don't like.
Important for you to
No.
feel, in order to feel loved, you don't need to be receiving thoughtful gifts.
No. Although.
But mom gives you thoughtful gifts all the time. And when she does, how does that feel?
No, she doesn't.
Kristen?
Oh, I thought you meant my mom.
No, your mom.
Oh.
Not your mom. Your mom. Jesus.
see my
I'm talking about your
confusion.
mom, not your mom.
When my mom gives me
They're generally crazy thoughtful.
thoughtful gifts, I love it.
Yeah. Do you feel super loved?
I do. I do feel like someone's hearing me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paying attention
Yeah.
to who you are. Mhm.
You know, it's weird. Like, I think maybe it's because I'm good at that when somebody else is good at it too.
You see through it.
No, there's nothing to see through. It's all wonderful. And it is so thoughtful and nice, but I'm not like, I don't think I feel it in the same way.
Well, so I agree with you in that I'm not a crazy thoughtful gift giver. So then when I receive a gift that was crazy thoughtful, you've given me some, Kristen's given me some.
Sure.
It's extra powerful because it's out of my skill set. So I'm like,
Exactly.
oh, this person really did something I can't even do for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also
Not unlike when I tune in your Tokyo.
Ugh.
You're like, I can't tune in
Stop
Tokyo.
talking about my Tokyos on here. Yeah, I give gifts for sure. And I think I need all of them.
All of them? Okay.
But no, I think I need really hard. I really do kind of feel like I need all of them. I mean, everyone needs all of them. That's why they're there. But it's like, what do you respond to the most? You know what I don't really need? Acts of service.
Well, that's a bummer because that's primarily how I'm showing you that I love you as I'm
That's not true.
going. Well, no, yes.
Well, it's one of.
Going with the truck to pick out a bed.
I know. I love that. I do
hauling
love
the
that.
bed, and then I go to the Best Buy and pick out a TV. Well, it was actually Costco. Go to Costco, pick out some TVs with you, put them up in your house.
Actually, I'm wrong. I do love that.
Okay.
I do need it. I
Great.
do. I do.
You love all the loves.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's interesting because I think other people are sometimes better at diagnosing your stuff than you.
Oh, I think most of the time they are. But also I think the most important thing about the love language thought process isn't to say like what you do or don't love or whatever, but it's more importantly to go like, oh, this is something I value a ton. So then when the person doesn't do it back to me, I'm assuming they have the same love language. So I'm assuming they don't love me. And you're probably missing some other way they're demonstrating their love for you, but it's not the one that you give. So you kind of miss it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like half, right? And then the other half is, so what is the thing that they respond to? And I can try to be better about giving that.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. I don't want Kristen to stop giving me gifts, okay? Because I really like those.
She won't, yeah.
I like that. We talk a lot about mental health on this episode. A lotty lot.
Too much?
No.
Okay.
A good
it was
amount.
Two a lots.
It was a lot. It was. But it's great. It's good to talk about it. And that's really what we talk about always.
Yeah.
But I remembered when I was listening back, I remembered one time I was listening to this panel of the Mad Men cast.
Mm-hmm.
One of the actors on there is French, I want to say. He's European. And I don't know how they got on this subject, but they started talking about happiness. And he was like, Americans are so obsessed with happiness as a destination. I'm paraphrasing, but
sure.
Happiness as a destination. And the French, I think it was the French, don't see it like that. They see happiness as like another emotion that's transient that you come in and out of. And so there's a lot less depression because depression comes from not achieving this permanent level of happiness.
Unmet expectations.
Exactly. But really no one can do that. It's not a permanent state.
It's a fleeting feeling.
Exactly.
You're right. I find myself striving for all happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best you can strive for is contentness.
Yeah.
That's sustainable. Then little peaks of happiness and little valleys of sadness. Mount Fuji's over there in Tokyo, and you'll tune in, see what they're saying, and then
Yeah. Yeah. And it all informs the other.
Mm-hmm.
Sadness informs happiness. Remember one time I told you I'm not afraid to be sad?
Yeah.
I told you that one time. I don't know if it's still true, but so she's in this new movie, Manson's. So interesting.
Oh, the Quentin Tarantino film.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's what it's called. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
For now, who knows?
His tend to stick.
That's true. He has good titles.
Yeah, he's got literally the best titles of any writer ever.
He has good ones. I want to see it. I'm so obsessed with the Manson murders.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of a cliche. Like everyone's obsessed with them. They're like the most.
You're like, I'm so into Disneyland.
Ugh, I'm so into chocolate. It's so strange. It's so rare.
This is the weirdest thing about me is like, but when I get a huge paycheck, I'm like, I love it.
It feels good.
Yeah, like I don't know why, but like I love when I get a huge paycheck.
It's gonna sound weird when I say this, but okay, yeah. But anyway, so it's interesting to me. Is it interesting to you?
The Mansons,
Yeah.
incredibly, yeah.
Yeah.
What fascinates me about it is the primate aspect. Like the power of the group, the power of a leader, the power of status, the power of all these things that I kind of bring up often on here.
And
you get to
pray.
see it at its zenith, where it's like you actually convince people to go murder other people because of your mindset point of view, and the tools used to become that cult of personality.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting that we as an animal are susceptible to that. And even people that would imagine they're not would probably be shocked, like Stockholm syndrome. That's fascinating to me, that you start sympathizing with your captors and all these different things that I think are all weird vestigial group animal behaviors.
Yeah. I know. I'm always surprised when people are so indignant and judgmental about people who get like quote unquote sucked into these cults, because I'm like, I think everyone is capable of being sucked in.
Yeah.
And I think I really am.
Well, again, you gotta, certainly there's probably a spectrum of how susceptible people are.
Yeah.
But then you have to imagine circumstance. So you have to go like, okay, now imagine me on my worst day, feeling the worst about myself and the most directionless I've ever seen. Then I meet one of the most charismatic people of all time, happens to coincide with that moment.
Yeah.
And then the sky's the limit.
Well, I think it's just, it's whatever vulnerability that particular cult is preying on. You are more or less susceptible, but they happen all over the place.
Oh, absolutely.
They're in plain sight.
The Rajneeshis were on some level they were in a cult. I happen to think it's a pretty cool cult, but regardless.
It was a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you've ever been under the power of somebody?
Yeah.
You do?
You.
No, don't say that. I hate when you
I know you don't like when I say that. I'm sorry. You hate it. I thought you didn't use that word.
Burn.
Yeah. One time Dax said I use the word hate all the time, and I haven't said it since. Which goes to show that I'm in your cult.
No, I don't. I don't like it. How about that? I don't like it.
I know, which is so funny that you get like really weirded out by that.
I do.
Is it because we have this podcast and you get nervous that you really are doing that?
No, it would make your liking me disingenuous. It would mean the thing that we share is mind control and cult of personality and not just like a genuine friendship.
I don't think that's true. I don't think I'm in your cult.
Okay.
But,
Thank you.
Some days I do, some days I don't. I don't think I'm in your cult.
You disagree with the cult leader quite a bit for someone in a cult.
I'm very outspoken.
If you really measured, like if there's an outsider or a computer program that was monitoring our conversations, the vast majority of them are disagreements.
I know, but I keep coming back.
Well, or I keep coming back.
Hey!
Who's coming back?
That's true. Okay, so Forbes says there's 5 tricks to being better at names. Remembering names.
Forbes does? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think this is our first Forbes sighting.
I probably
maybe not. We talk
referenced
about money a lot.
Yeah. Okay, 1, meet and repeat. That's an obvious one.
Sure.
Meet and repeat. 2, spell it out.
Oh.
I thought
MONOCOA.
Good job. Spell it out. 3, associate. So Joan from Jersey.
Ooh, little alliteration.
I think Anthony does this all the time.
Monica from Macon.
Yeah, but
You're not from Macon,
no,
but that is
I guess
in
it
Georgia.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be factual,
Right.
But it's better if it is.
Yeah.
Then you can remember 2 things: something about them and their name.
Right.
Yeah.
And Anthony does this all the time?
All the time. He always has like a qualifier before the name.
Oh, I want to know what mine is. Can you ask him?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll report back. I don't think he probably has one for you because he probably didn't have a hard time learning your name.
Because it's so unique?
Yeah.
Okay. Or because I'm a cult leader.
Oh, you said it, not me. Okay.
Jack Janishis?
Number 4, make connections. So another way association can be helpful is to make a connection between the person you're talking to and someone else you know with the same name.
I try this all the time.
Do?
Yes, because there's a lot of dudes that float in and out of my AA meeting.
Yeah.
And then they'll be sitting there on the couch and I'm staring at their face and I'm like, what friend did I connect them to? They don't look like anyone I know. It's always the weirdest.
Oh, that is hard.
Yeah. And then I'm more frustrated trying to remember the person I connected them to than I would just be. That backfires for me sometimes.
Okay. But it might work for other people.
Yeah.
Okay. And 5 is really, I mean, this is what all boils down to. Choose to care.
I don't buy that one.
I do.
I don't think you can make yourself care.
Well, I mean,
can you make yourself care?
Well, what happens for me, I find the reason I'm not good at it, because I'm good at remembering. I'm not good at hearing it the first time, because I guess I'm too in my head during the introduction that I don't hear their name. And then I won't ask again.
Right.
I feel too ashamed.
Yeah.
To say, what was your name again? Ugh, I can't do it. So then I just never know.
I'm surprised the thing I brought up wasn't in there because I just, in my own experience, I would have said I was incapable of learning 100 people's names in a month. But when I was directing and I needed something from every person, boy, I've never had an easier time.
Yeah.
Like
that's a good trick.
What blows me away is teachers. Like they don't need shit from those kids. And I'll walk into these classrooms day 2 and these teachers know all the kids' names. I'm blown away because there's no status thing. They can't do anything for them. Other than I guess they got to get them to behave. So they got to be like, hey, fucking whatever with red hair.
Daryl.
Whatever your name is. Great gray t-shirt. Stop eating glue.
Yeah.
Maybe because you do need to. You need to communicate with them because you got to control
call on them. So you do also, there's a repetition and you get used to it. They're also all sitting in the exact same spot every day. So the visual.
You hope.
Well, that's true. They could pull a fast one on you. That's it. We also talked about the Nuremberg ring, but they're really.
But who cares?
Who cares about that? That's all.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I love you, and I can't wait to hit the road with you tomorrow.
Me either.
We'll get to listen to some podcasts. That's my favorite part about driving to the dunes.
Oh yeah,
is we get to see what else is going on.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
All right. I love you.
Love you.